Nothing.
Now I do. All right. Everything serious about it. Good.
Okay, moving back to old business here. Rules of procedure. Do we want to discuss that, or do we want
I'll
to?
make a motion to table till the next meeting.
Motion by Bob to table to the next meeting, which is whenever, December
December 11th.
11th.
A second.
Second by Barbara. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Carry on. Moving on to new business. Our first petition is John Harvey and Michelle Wynn. They have filed with Vermillion County Area Plan Petition 25-04, requesting a change in the zoning classification from a UC urban commercial to a GC general commercial on real estate, commonly known as 422 South Main Street, Clinton, Indiana. The purpose of this request is to make the property into a house cat rescue. Okay. Yes, thank you for coming in. What do you got for us?
Well, I have all the paperwork I had to have filed, the receipt from the post office, and the things that I got back, the receipt from the Tribune Star where I published it. And
Yeah, so this was supposed to be on the agenda for the October meeting, which was canceled due to lack of quorum.
Right.
Farm season, we should know better.
Yep.
So she was on the agenda for October. She sent out her notices. I had no one respond to my office either way. This is in Clinton city limits, so it's a recommendation to Clinton City.
To the city. Okay.
we also have the deed because we just closed on the building yesterday, so if you need that, so.
Okay, that's good. Board have any questions for Harvey and Wynn?
Does the city of Clinton have anything to
All we
offer?
have to do is say if it meets our UDO,
Okay.
meets the guidelines, and go into general commercial would. And then the final decision comes down to Clinton City. We just make a favorable or an unfavorable, and then they make the final decision.
Right, we just pass it on to,
Correct.
yeah.
Could you explain the nature of the business, capacity, some other things about it?
Well, the building is huge, so I'm actually dividing it in two. Half of it is going to be an antique mall, kind of like Northside Pickers, because cat rescues don't pay the utility bills. So my booth rent from the Fender Mall would pay the utility bills. Then the cat rescue, I've already got arrangements with a traveling vet. We're putting in a surgery room to do spay and neuters there on site. We'll be able to offer low-cost spay and neuter to residents once we have everything set up and going. We'll have adoptions. I have filed for a nonprofit already. With the government shutdown, I haven't been approved yet, but we're waiting on that. I am incorporated already. I am certified in CPR and feline first aid. What else? Any other questions?
So here's on the map up in the overhead, this is the lot, the yellow square is where, it's the old Clintonian building.
Oh, okay.
So all the felines are gonna be inside?
Indoors, yes,
Yeah.
completely indoors. There won't be any cats outside at all.
It's almost like I won't say not a veterinarian, but that type of animal
we'll be
rescue.
open for adoption events, but yes, a rescue, yes.
Okay.
People can
A
come in
business,
and adopt.
yeah.
I'll take in strays. I specialize in newborn bottle babies. I do bottle feeding.
Okay.
So I get calls already to take in those bottle babies and then find them homes.
Do people bring cats in if they're gonna surrender the cats?
I'll have a list, I'm sure. I've already got a list because people know that this is coming. So, but yes, I would be able to take in surrender. I do want to focus more on the strays that are around because the strays are ungodly. There's so many strays in Clinton right now. And I'm not limited to just Clinton. I'd be willing to take in others. I did call and talk to the director of shelters at the Indiana State Board of Animal Health, and they do not have any guidelines on the number of cats that you can have in a rescue. So she told me to leave that up to my veterinarian. So Dr. Darren Miller is the veterinarian we're working with, and he is also the veterinarian for the Humane Society in Sullivan. So I do have a very experienced vet with me.
Where's he out of?
Sullivan.
He comes all the way up here.
Yes, he already does. He's got a mobile van and he does traveling visits in Clinton, Terre Haute area.
How big of cats are you dealing with?
House cats.
Okay.
No feral,
Like
wild
couple
cats or anything.
cats.
Just domestic cats.
That's the reason we worded it that way, domestic house cats.
About
so we
15
don't have
pounds,
them.
probably.
I don't see that.
No bobcats,
We
please.
had those other ones.
We can't have any lions there?
No lions, no bobcats.
So if someone were to find a baby bobcat in the wild or something, you would decline to take
Well,
that animal? Or?
I would, in that
Since it's a wild
situation,
animal?
take it in long enough to contact, I do have some contacts with different people that do wildlife rescue, because the rescue world,
Yeah.
everybody talks. So I would immediately get a hold of one of them and have them come pick it up, but I wouldn't want to leave it in the hands of just anybody.
Okay. So does your business model, do you consider it in competition with our county humane society or?
No, because there are so many cats here, there's really no competition. It's a need, a huge need in the community.
Okay.
I know they're overwhelmed.
What as far as how you would fund the care for these?
Grants, right now, I've gotten a lot of support through social media. I actually have a TikTok account and get donations on TikTok as well, and that's worldwide. So it's not just limited to local donations and funding, but.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else got any questions?
I make a motion, go ahead and pass it favorable on to Clinton City.
Well, let me open it up for public hearing. I gotta
Oh,
do
yeah.
that.
anybody
Gotta do that
from
first.
Clinton, that's
Anybody here at the public
Clinton.
want to speak on behalf or for or against? I don't see nobody.
Well, the mayor's here.
Your name, sir? What's your name?
Happen to be the mayor.
Oh,
So whatever you guys recommend, the city council will hear it and make the decision. But they did contact me when they first considered buying it. I explained to her she would have to get it rezoned. And it looked to me like they're following all the rules, so
oh yeah.
I don't have a problem with it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay. Okay, now Bob, go ahead and make your
My
motion.
motion stands as passing it on favorable to Clinton City.
Motion by Bob to pass it on for a favorable and a second
I'll second it.
by Ron. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. You're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Do you keep my papers?
Yeah, I'll keep those and I'll send the letter to the mayor.
Thank you.
And when's your meeting, the 18th, John? Is that right? Yes, November 18th. Yes. Thank you.
Get that back too.
No, I need
Oh, you get that.
Unknown.
Okay, moving on to B. Martin Shortridge has filed with the Vermillion County Area Plan Commission petition 25-06 requesting a change in the zoning classifications from a R1 single family residence to an M2 multiple family residence on a real estate commonly known as 1400 East State Road 163, Clinton, Indiana.
Marty, come on. Sorry.
Huh?
I just told Marty to come on in.
Oh. Yeah,
Also,
the purpose of the request is to put a U multiple level apartments. Go ahead, Martin. Go ahead and stand right over there.
hold on just a minute, Marty. So, my records show in 1979 on March the 6th that this property was rezoned and It was at that time special exception for approval, I guess it was a special exception for approval of the construction of an apartment complex in 79. Now, he never did that, so to make sure we have all of our I's dotted, our T's crossed, he's gone through the process this time to notify all the adjacent property owners by certified mail. He has advertised it, and he is here.
Okay.
What's there now? What is there now? Just a single family home?
I'm Marty Shortridge.
Yeah, but what is on this property now? Is it a single family
It's a
home?
farm, it's farmland, and
Farmland.
it's been tiled. So we have drainage control, and it's got a 300-foot cell tower on it.
Okay, so it's just land.
Yeah, so this is the parcel. So you can see it off of 63. Right here, the bottom one over here, I believe that's Quick Stop, right?
Yeah,
This is
that's,
O'Neill's transmission here to give you reference of what's right there.
Oh, which it was.
You're talking about in the yellow there.
The yellow square is where
Yeah.
you'd be
That one
placing
right
the
there.
apartments.
Yeah, the road, yeah.
there's a 50-foot drive on the east side that goes back to the field. And the way Penny explained it to me, it had already been zoned by my family back in 78. And when the comprehensive plan came through in 2000 or late 90s, it was put back to farmland from R3, I think. So I guess I'm just asking for it to be restored.
Okay. Did any of these people get back with you, Marty? On the people you mailed out to your neighbors?
4 of them didn't reply, and one I got signature card back on.
Okay.
I think it was only one.
Is NDOT okay with your access off the highway?
They were in the 70s.
I mean, that could put a kibosh to the whole thing.
Your access road is still there to go back,
Yeah.
because of O'Neill's.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
not O'Neill's. O'Neill's is on the
Further.
road that goes back to Klondike or Sandytown, whichever.
Mhm.
And the road's by itself.
Okay.
So is it a county road or private?
It's private.
It's private from
But once
from
once
163.
it's put in, it'll be turned over to the county for maintaining snow removal and everything.
How many buildings do you anticipate putting in there?
We haven't got that far yet.
Okay.
My son's an engineer from Rose-Hulman, and he's kind of figuring it all out, but we haven't got that far yet. We were wanting to.
Then it said something about multi-level. Are we talking like 3 stories or 10 stories?
I don't like multi-level apartments. I don't know where that came in at, but
Okay.
they would be single level as far as I could see, because in multi-level apartments, you got problems with water leakage upstairs that comes down to the downstairs apartments. I'm pretty sure it would all be single level. I don't.
Well, our multifamily has a height limit. I don't remember the number, but
That's what I saw, multiple.
The theory is,
Family, but not multiple.
in apartments, if you're gonna build a roof, put it over 2 stories instead of 1. It's more economical, but I don't like 2-story apartments. Plus, a lot of people today, there's a housing crisis in the southern part of the county right now, and most of the people that are wanting to rent are my age or older, and they don't want stairs.
And so tonight, all you're just asking for is that, to make sure it's zoned properly, and then you'll have to come back for a building permit, because there's no building permits yet or nothing.
No,
How
Okay,
many
just get that.
acres is
we're
it?
just redoing what we did
Do
in
you know how many
78.
acres?
Okay.
15.5 or something.
Yeah, 15.5 acres. And as far as the road goes, that would be between the short ridges and the commissioners.
Mhm.
Because so that'd be a deal with them. So instead of it saying multi-layer or multi-level,
Cross that. with single.
multi-family,
Multi-family.
Yeah, that's kind of
multi-family
what I read.
apartments, that's
See what you're saying?
I guess that's what it's saying.
She said right here.
Yeah, it already says multiple families.
Yeah.
I did see that.
Well, but then the last line says multi-level. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Penny, if you could reiterate this again to me. This was rezoned in 1970s.
Well, this is my
but-
record show in
But
1970.
lost its zoning.
In 79, it was approved for multifamily special exception, not zoning
Not
change.
zoning.
But then over here it says zoning change, B3 interchange, because it was what it was zoned at the time, to U1. Comments say that, and then it says they're putting a tower on the property. So I'm not sure how that all happened, but just
But
to
the
make sure.
tower didn't go up in 79.
No.
No, it went up about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's just what I'm telling you, my notes that I have from 79. I don't have.
Well, 79,
So-
they did things a little different.
Sure,
than mine.
and when we did the new zoning ordinance, we drove every road in the county.
Right.
And what that property was functioning of that day, that's what the new zoning map shows.
Right.
So that's how it got to be, like, whatever it says today. I don't know.
Right.
Well, I guess that tells me right there what it's on, sorry. R1. Single family.
Single family, yeah.
So the way it is now, the way I understand it, because I sat on your board 40 years ago, I could go ahead and put single family homes on the property the way it looks like it's zoned now. But since we have a housing shortage of rental properties in the county, I kind of wanted to go with the way it is.
The board, anybody else on the board have any questions? Okay, hearing none, we'll open it up for the public. Marty,
Okay.
anybody on the public got any questions for Marty? Stand up, your name, please. You better come up front up here, we can hear you better. Come on up, if you can get up there. Normally, we don't have that problem.
Can you put that overall picture of the ground up there?
Hold on. Maybe. Does that work?
You can see the north end of.
Yep.
Okay, so 22, that's our home.
Point to that.
Which one's yours?
22 to the.
I don't see 22 on. Oh,
Yeah,
there it is,
Yeah,
right
it's
here.
at the top and on the right side.
There we go.
Oh,
So,
okay.
you already said you don't know for sure yet how many units you're looking at. Are you aware of how many bedrooms are planned? Are you doing like 1, 2, and 3 bedroom or
Whatever the market desires.
any of them income adjusted?
Not by my choice.
Will you have on-site management?
Most likely.
Okay. Doing any kind of noise reducing around the?
There's usually no noise comes from apartments. Do you make noise at your house?
Kids
No,
do.
but they make noise at my apartment, so I don't know how they work at yours, but, will there be like multiple phases, or are you just gonna sock them in there?
Most likely multiple phases.
What are you doing about, sewage handling?
There's public sewage available 1,400 feet away. Public utilities are all available. And the field's been tiled.
Yeah.
So there's no drainage problem.
You know if there's a setback required on, neighboring properties?
That would be up to
Yeah.
the people.
There are definitely setbacks, yeah.
Do you know what it is?
Not off the top of my head, I know, but
Go through a thick book.
go ahead, Joe.
I don't have my book in front of me.
We got a lot of books tonight. But there definitely is some setbacks, right?
And you already said you're leaning toward single story. And there's probably no point in asking what the layout is gonna look like.
Yeah.
The minimum front yard setback is 25 feet, minimum side yard setback is 10 feet, minimum rear yard setback is 25 feet, minimum building separation 20 feet between primary structures, 10 feet between accessory and any structure. Height limit of 35 feet, I think.
Sounds about right.
But you're wanting to know how close they get to your place. Am I correct? That's what the question is. He wants to know how close they can get to his house, not how close the houses are gonna be.
We tiled the field 10 years ago, and it's dry, but I wouldn't want to encroach onto his property because it's wet.
Okay.
And I'd be back far enough to where it wouldn't be wet.
Which way does the water flow? Does it flow towards your house, the ground?
It flows southwest,
Okay.
naturally.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Well, what comes off of, can you go back down to the south end of that?
What seems to be the problem here?
Yeah, operator error.
Here, you got a physical copy of the UDO. You have a physical copy of the UDO.
How far south do you want me to go?
Well, not that far. Okay, stop. The parcel 20 there is Gary Usselman's ground, and what we get is runoff going northeast through our property and out through Adam and Brianna Schultz place. They've had a ditch through their property forever, but it carries most of that away. Usselman's ground is also tiled right along our driveway. In fact, it's a terrible puddle in the corner between him and number 23, which is also ours, part of our property. Not so much anymore. So yeah, there's water that runs through there.
Well, as with all housing properties, there'll be a retention pond put in with the limited output. It'll catch all your storm water. Probably won't be any more water than what runs off the field now, but it'll go along with adheres to the 50-year and 100-year floodplain plan.
Hate to do this to you, but can you go back up to the north and again?
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, that's good. Number 12, is that it?
Up here?
Yeah. That, about from where your yellow line is now all the way to the west, gets some pretty serious water standing in there every year. And no place for it to go.
On my property or yours?
North, east of it.
Across the street that goes through there.
Put the pond in there and everything.
No, the pond would be on the south end where the water naturally runs.
He put a pond in.
Oh, he did? Okay, I don't see it on the
This
map.
Patrick Martin?
I don't know what their names are.
Okay. Well, this map is 23, so it's a few years old.
I think it was Leo. What? Yeah, Leo Reposh. We moved in out there. Are you using any government money? Marty, state, federal financing?
What's the question?
If he's using any government financing?
Oh.
Because then you'd be required to do Section 8. No. It's all private.
Well, those are the questions I had, and I'm not sure yet whether I'm for it or against it. But it looks to me like it's kind of a narrow strip of land, and I'd be interested in seeing what your layout is gonna be.
Danny, you got those figures on that one piece of paper. Oh, there's figures written on the bottom of a piece of those papers.
Yeah, I just seen them a second
I
ago.
believe it's 2,032 feet long and 308 feet wide.
Yes. That's correct.
Yeah, if you're doing all single story, with parking lots and retention ponds and other facilities that you might be having in there, I think it's gonna be kind of tight, but that's just.
It's 15.5 acres. And it'll be planned, it won't be just thrown together. Like I said, my son's an engineer.
Aren't we all?
No, he actually went to Rhode Home for 4 years.
Well, that's about all I got, so I'm not, like I say, I believe people ought to be able to do reasonable things with their own property, but, I'd sure like to see the plan and the dimensions of the footprint of the property and those kind of things.
I think that M2 actually is 40 feet front yard, 40 feet side yard, 40 feet rear yard, but that's to the property line, so I presume that's to the next property. So 40
That's
feet.
more than acceptable.
And the process will be once we put it back to the zoning that's required for him to start, then he still has to go through and submit all the blueprints and all the setbacks, which at that time you'll be able to see, because that's a whole different step. That'll have to go with the UDO that sets it out and lays it out for it. So we have the basics. Get it online or stop by and see Penny.
I do have it on pretty good authority too, and you guys obviously should look into that, but the public sewer, which is part of an extension of the Crown Hill sewer that is on the west side of 63, was never completed with the original installation. So I'm not sure what the status of that would be. That would obviously be his best bet if he can hook up to that. But that line was not completed. I'm not naming any names, but it was left undone. And no one has ever hooked up to it on that side of the highway, to my knowledge.
That's a sewer receptor. It's sitting on Kenny Nelson's property, and it was put in there by the state of Indiana, grant funding for Crown Hill Sewer, and the gas station / mini mart is hooked onto it.
Well, I don't know.
I do.
Is the motel on?
Nope. It is a possibility for the city to have some income from something that's sitting there for Motel 1 to hook to it, but that receptor is 1,400 feet away from the proposed location of a lift station on the property to pump the sewage out to 163. And the lift station is actually on the south side of 163, not on the west.
Right. So I said west side of 63. So, yeah, that's where it is. It's on that corner right there. But I'd suggest looking into the status of that branch of that sewer line.
Okay, we will. You have any other questions?
That'll do me.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody?
Go ahead.
Anybody else? Anybody? Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Shortridge, I know the GIS shows, it appears, I know it's not legal, but to look at the GIS for it, but it shows that there may be a road right away on the north end of your property that runs east and west.
Yeah, that's
This may be a question for Penny also.
I forget the name of the street. It's a
Howe
weird
Avenue.
Howe Avenue.
How?
That's, I don't want a second entrance to it.
There's no current entrance on the north end from
No, there's no current entrance to Howe Street
from Park.
the county road that goes north and south.
That's Park.
Okay, there's
Nothing
It's a
there.
dirt
Park is a dirt road.
road. It's never been used as far as I know.
But how does not extend along your north boundary?
On the back side of it,
Running east and west.
how extends, I can't even see the screen.
It's not developed, huh?
No, how extends on the north side of my property, but the driveway to the people's houses come back north of Howe onto a paved street and then back into the properties. I can't see Howe ever being used anyway, because I don't want two ways in and out. I want one.
Understood. So you have no plans to make an entry from the north side?
No, that usually turns a
Just our-
subdivision into a drag strip.
Yeah. It's just that the GIS shows that there may be a road right away there, which
It's on the plat.
it's not legal.
But I think you'd have to go through a process to open it back up as a road, because it's too narrow for one thing. It looks like an alley. I don't know anybody that's driven down it for 40 years that I know of.
Okay. I'm good.
Anybody else on board got any questions? Mr. Shortridge? Okay, at this time, I guess I better make a motion to close public hearing. So I made a motion to close public hearing.
Make first.
Motion by Bob.
I'll second.
Who?
I'll second.
Second by Brian. Okay, all opposed? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, moving on, we need to pass this on for a favorable or unfavorable recommendation.
I would move to pass this to the commissioners for the favorable recommendation.
Oh, yeah, we are passing this on to the commissioners, I'm sorry. Yep.
I'll second that.
Motion by Joe, and a second, Bob?
Yes.
Bob, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion will be turned over to the commissioners.
Marty,
you.
that meeting will be
Yeah.
on December the 9th. They moved it off a week because there's a conference or something. So December 9th will be the commissioners meeting. I'll send you a notice.
Yeah, I gave you the paperwork that I got from you,
Right,
so
I'll get it
send
back
me
to you.
notice?
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
Cool.
All right, thanks, Marty.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Marty.
Appreciate it.
All right, moving on.
C and D are for BZA.
Huh?
C and D are for BZA.
Yeah, that's for. Okay.
But are we gonna talk about that as the APC? We usually,
Wait a minute.
No.
Wait a minute. And we have to pass it on to them?
No.
So it's all BZA?
Because there are ordinances there and they do all the variants.
Yes. Do
You
we
guys are
want,
welcome to stay
Well,
while
yeah,
they do their
but
presentation.
do we
and
wanna
the
go ahead
question.
well, we're not done with ours yet. If you're gonna do C and D.
Right, no, but I'm saying, when you adjourn, you're welcome to stay to,
Yes.
here and be a part of this.
Okay, now,
Are we allowed to ask questions?
Yes, absolutely, you're a taxpayer.
but can we go ahead and finish our business?
Yes.
Okay, any other new business?
I need a vacation.
Yes, sure you do. Yes, don't we all?
That's old business.
So, the office reports,
Yeah, just do the claims first, where they at? Did I already sign them?
I got it here with a post-it note for you to sign. Everybody has their claims on their office report. Building permits are up. We have 90 so far this year. Last year, for the entire year, we only had 81. So we still got a month and a half to go, so we're doing well. Tribune Star is killing me price-wise for advertising, but it's what we have to do. So,
They're doing a good job.
yep. I'm keeping busy. That's all I got.
Okay, keep this moving.
I'd move-
Anybody else got any old business or
Hold on, we gotta do
new business?
I would move to pass claims as presented.
Okay. Motion by Joe to approve claims, a second?
Seconded.
Second by
Brandon.
Brandon, okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, at this time, this will close meeting for the area plan commission.
I just got a comment,
Huh?
from the APC side, because we.
Yeah, from the APC side, yes.
As long as I've been on the board, several industries coming in, I appreciate, this may just set the standard for the rest of with what Apex did. So it's on to the BZA, but I just wanted to recognize what we have in front of us and presented us, just so we knew what was going on. And that's I don't know how long you've been on here, Larry, but I never have seen
Been
such
on here for a
detail.
long time.
And I appreciate that. That's all I got to say on that.
Thank you, Bob. Anybody else? Okay, now, I got to adjourn the meeting, right? Okay, our meeting is adjourned.
Need a motion to
Oh,
adjourn.
a motion, I'm
I'll
sorry,
do
yeah.
that.
Motion by
And I'll
Ron,
give you a second.
second by Bob. Yes, we probably ought to do that too. Okay, our meeting adjourned, and the next meeting can take over right now. Can we sit, can we stay up here?
Absolutely. You don't see
Brandon?
any other chairs, do you?
You need to sit over here.
No, I'm not BZA.
Oh, who's on the BZA?
Right down there.
Oh,
I'll
well,
put
I'm
him
gonna
down
stay
there.
right
Yeah,
here.
that's why we're set that way, Larry, come on.
We already separated the sheets
I'm
together.
glad you separated me.
Give Barbara the gavel.
Huh?
Give Barbara the gavel.
You're not the,
Oh, yes, yeah. Here, Bart.
yeah, you don't want to run it.
Yeah, I want no part of that one, no.
Should I wait till Brian?
I think Brian might be leaving.
Nah, he just,
Was he coming back?
he took a break.
Okay.
Can we take just a quick bathroom?
Yes, sir.
Is there a volume thing on there where it turned that up a little bit?
You guys can't hear us back there?
I'm pretty deaf, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, I just was asking.
No, that's, I didn't know that. You should have spoke up earlier. Yeah, she can do that.
No, I can't turn it up.
Yeah, you can. Turn it up, turn it up.
But I can get him this thing, so you can hear.
Take a couple minute break just to
Oh, no, I wanted everybody
get a
to.
plan together.
Nobody can hear back here. Okay.
We'll just have to speak up, I guess.
Yeah, just
I don't know.
tell them to speak up, that's all you gotta do.
Get closer to the mic.
Well, you lost one of your main speakers, because I'm done. I'm out.
See, now I can hear you.
I know. Everybody can hear me. I don't think too many people can't hear me.
Oh, really? Larry, keep talking.
Yes, I'm talking. Everybody, you don't
You're
need a
doing
speaker
sound
for me.
I've never known Larry to be lack of being able to talk.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
You can turn it off if you don't want it.
Barbara, you're gonna have to really speak
Penny.
up.
Yeah, you have to really
If
speak
they
up.
just will raise their hand, if they can't hear us, then we'll know to talk with her. I'm hesitating just a minute until Joe gets back.
Sure.
But if we tell them
So
that,
if anyone says, if we're speaking and you can't hear, raise your hand and they'll speak louder so you can hear them.
Yes.
No one's ever said to Penny Carpenter, what did you say? Jerry.
I can hear you.
and Penny, tell them about coming up and stating their name
No.
and
So if
address.
you want to speak for or against, either way, it's fine. Come up to the podium, give your name. You'll have 3 minutes. We are going to ask we not repeat the same thing of what was said to the previous person, or we don't want to hear the same thing 6 times. You know, yeah, I'm in favor of it. It's a good project. Move on. We're not, whatever. We're going to be respectful for everybody if you're for or against. And if you're going to leave during the meeting, try not to speak to people on the way out because it is hard to hear in here. All right?
And are we gonna time?
Yeah, 3 minutes. I'll run the timer.
I'd also like to know their address.
Oh, yes. So when you come to speak, the BZA would like to know where your address, your physical address. Joe, you ready to go? John?
Yeah.
John, you gotta be loud because you're a soft talker.
I'm a soft talker? I don't believe that.
Call to order the November 13th meeting of the Vermillion County Board of Zoning Appeals. We'll go through roll call first.
Travis Newman,
Here.
John Graves,
Here.
Barbara Phillips,
Here.
Judy Palazzi,
Here.
Joe Ellis.
I'm here.
John scared me, I couldn't think of it.
Okay, so there are 2 things on our, well, Let's do the minutes, I'm sorry. Minutes, you can all, have you all looked at the minutes? And when you have, I'll take a motion to approve those minutes.
On the backside of
They're on the back.
That's not good.
Paper, making money, printed on both sides.
I have reviewed the minutes. I believe they are a true representation of our prior meeting. I would move to pass them as presented.
I'll make a second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Okay, so two things on our agenda tonight. I don't think we have any other old business. New business is Brulette's Creek Solar has filed with the Vermillion County Board of Zoning Appeals petition number 25-07 for a special exception for constructing and operating a 200 megawatt solar power plant on 2,913 acres located in Southern Health Township, Vermillion County, Indiana. So, do we have any questions from the board on this proposal?
I would suggest we move to public comment.
Okay.
Do you want them to do their presentation first?
Like a 40-minute, is it?
30 minutes?
30 minutes, yeah.
You bet.
Okay, well, we'll let Brulette's make a
go.
presentation. You're limited to 30 minutes, and you don't have to take that long. If
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. Yeah. Good evening.
Hi.
Thank you for your service, thank you for your time. My name is Nikki Schultz, Nikkishultz. I am the local Indiana counsel for Apex in the Brulette's Creek project. My office is in Indianapolis. We're here tonight, as Madam Chair indicated, you're simultaneously hearing two matters. One is 2507, the special exception permit request under section 9.10 of your UDO. The second matter is 2508, which is the variance for the height of certain facilities in the project. The purpose of this 30-minute presentation, and we have worked really hard to condense all of that paper into a 30-minute presentation. The purpose is to walk you through, does the project satisfy the UDO? And in the UDO, you have section 5.65, which those are the solar power plant standards. And we'll have someone from Apex standing up and talking you through expeditiously how the project meets those standards. We will also answer BZA questions. Our understanding is, since we're timed for 30 minutes, we'll go through our 30-minute presentation and then happy to take questions, and you'll hear that we have lots of team members and experts here, I think, to answer any question you might have. We will also, the main purpose is to establish that this project meets the criteria that you, as the BZA, have to find. Your BZA rules require you to make findings of fact. There's 5 findings of fact that you have to evaluate when you vote on the special exception, and there's 3 findings of fact that you have to find when you vote on the variance, and we will cover those. You have been already given before today a big binder, which is the application for the special exception permit. You've been given a smaller binder, which is the application for the variance. Today, when you got here, you saw a third binder. That third binder is a supplemental hearing binder. And inside of it, you will see the slides. Every speaker that's going to follow me is going to go through slides. Every person's slides are in your hearing supplemental binder. You'll also find an updated noise study, some drainage plan updates, the proposed findings of fact that we were asked to complete, both for the variance and the special exception. you'll see a list of frequently asked questions, things we hear from landowners and what the answer is. And you'll find the proof of the newspaper publication for the project. So all that's in your hearing binder. You also received today 2 other items. One is a folder that says Apex, and those are letters in support of the project, be it from landowners who are in the project or community members. You also will see a letter from the South Vermillion School Corporation. With that, I am going to pass things along to Megan Van Buren of the project.
Thanks, Nikki. And first, I want to thank the BZA and APC for hearing our presentation today. And to the supporters who are here this evening, I want to thank you for putting your trust in me and partnering with Apex. Together, we have reached this milestone for the project. Next slide, please. Just to start with a round of introductions, my name is Megan Van Buren, and I am the lead developer on this project. I grew up in a farming community in Virginia, and I hold a bachelor's degree from Virginia Tech. I reside in Charlottesville, Virginia with my family, and I have been with Apex for over 8 years. I have a brief presentation today where I will introduce both Apex and the Brulettes team, along with an overview of the project and some of the many benefits it will bring to the county. I will then hand it over to Aaron Bowen, who will talk about property values, and then Hank Salter will walk the board through our permit application, and finally, Kent Dougherty will finish our presentation. Also here today are several other Apex team members to provide support for questions in their area of expertise. Next slide, please. We're also joined today by Nikki Schultz, our Indiana legal counsel, Aaron Bowen, who I just mentioned will speak to property values, Liam Sawyer, who wrote our decommissioning report, Quint Shambaugh, our drainage expert, Todd Hardy, who conducted our sound study, Greg Balsano, who completed the project's tax analysis. This team is here to answer your questions. Next slide, please. Now, for a brief introduction to Apex. Apex was founded in 2009 and is a US-based, American-owned, and veteran-led company. We are privately owned and are headquartered in Charlottesville, Virginia. I am privileged to stand before you today as one of Apex's 400-plus employees. Next slide, please. We develop projects across the nation in more than 36 states, and as you can see, we have a successful portfolio in the Midwest. While we are based in Virginia, we are proud to hold strong partnerships throughout these communities. Next slide, please. Now to share a bit more about the project, Brulettes Creek is a 200 megawatt solar project located in Vermillion County. We are targeting construction to begin in early 2027 and are hoping for a commercial operations date of April 2028. We currently have 48 landowner agreements signed to date. That's all looking forward, but let me tell you about why we're here and all of the partnerships we have made since 2019. Next slide, please. We began development of the project in 2019, and from the onset, Vermillion County stood out as an ideal location. Initially, it was due to available capacity on the transmission lines and flat ground. But over the years, through countless conversations and meetings, I've come to know this community like a second home, and landowners who are genuinely excited to see this project succeed. This kind of support doesn't happen by force, it happens by trust. All of the 48 agreements we have in place today is a result of a mutual commitment to working together. As a private company, Apex does not hold eminent domain authority. All of these 48 agreements has been entered into voluntarily. Next slide, please. The result of 6 years of development is this map. To help you better understand what this map depicts, the red line represents the project boundary, yellow parcels represent signed solar leases, and the bright green represents the substation location where we have a signed interconnect agreement with MISO and Duke Energy. Some of you might be wondering, why does it look like this? That is because we have designed our projects to comply with setbacks, avoid wetlands and floodplains, and protect wildlife habitat, all while satisfying everything within the county ordinance. Another important design factor is drainage, and that's why we have partnered with Penyon Global in the design process. Penyon Global is a reliable and well-known drainage expert for utility solar projects across Indiana. Next slide, please. Now, looking at the economic benefits this project will bring to the county, based on our calculations, this will be a $465 million investment. According to the Baker-Tilly analysis, that means this project would bring $23 million in new property tax revenue over the life of the project. And that would make Brulettes Creek the third largest taxpayer in the county. In addition, we've proposed a $5 million economic development payment that would be available as additional county revenue. And Kent will talk more about this in just a moment. And it isn't often that you have a contractor in the backyard of a project. So we are excited to partner with White Construction to build this project. Apex has worked with White Construction on several projects outside of this community, and we know they are a reliable contractor for utility scale projects. Roughly 400 local jobs will be made available during the 12 to 18-month construction period. And we will also look for local candidates to source our operations and maintenance facility located here in Vermillion County. Once operational, a total of $119 million in operation payments will be made to local landowners. In addition to the benefits to the county, let's talk about St. Bernice. In being a good neighbor to St. Bernice, we have proposed a $200,000 community benefit fund directly for St. Bernice, with $20,000 given each year for 30 years, so an estimated $780,000. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, Apex is committed to being a good neighbor, and in doing so, Brulettes Creek has awarded more than $140,000 in community grants to support local organizations, schools, and people who make Vermillion County what it is. Here is a list of the many grant recipients. Next, I will hand it over to Aaron Bowen, who is one of the nation's leading experts on real estate property values and authored the study found as Appendix S in our application. As this study shows, this project will not negatively impact property values. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Megan. Good evening. My name is Aaron Bowen. If you could progress to the next slide, please. I'm a director at Cohn Resnick. I'm a real estate appraiser and property value expert. As part of your ordinance, it needs to be demonstrated that the proposed use will not substantially impact property value in an adverse manner. I'm here to speak on that. At Cohn Resnick, we specialize in impact studies ranging from landfills, transmission lines, and for the last 8 years, we have studied solar facilities. So how do we research whether solar has an impact on property values? We approach this threefold. The first of which is to review the academic literature. The second is to perform our own paired sales analyses. And third, we conduct market participant interviews. Next slide, please. There have been 8 published studies in the United States on solar facilities and property values. I have highlighted the 4 largest studies here. I'd like to highlight the Loyola University of Chicago study that was published last year, which is the first of its kind to specifically study utility scale solar projects in the Midwest specifically. The study concludes that there's actually a small positive increase from 0.5 percentage point to 2 percentage points, with the authors attributing this increase to the additional real estate tax revenue to the local school districts.
Excuse me. It's in the application binder, the big binder we have. You found it now?
It wasn't in order. It was farther back.
Okay, just wanted to make sure you guys were on the same page. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Literally.
Sorry, we were fumbling here for a minute.
It's in that same tab, about halfway back.
10, 20 pages back. No.
Thank you.
There you go.
If you could advance to the next slide, please. Okay. Okay, so I talked about the academic studies, and while the academic studies tend to take a macro approach in which they're looking at homes up to 1 mile away from solar, at Cohn-Resnick, we prefer to take a micro approach in which we're looking at the homes directly adjacent solar projects. With the understanding that if the homes are looking at solar in their front yard and their backyard, if there is an impact to property value, it would be seen the greatest here at these homes. So we look at existing solar facilities and identify every property that shares a property boundary with that solar property. We then track to see if any of these homes sell after the completion of the solar facility. And then we compare these sales to similar properties in a like-to-like or apples-to-apples basis. So we'll compare a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home to other similar 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes. Large farmstead properties are compared to other large farmstead properties. Next slide, please. So we have completed this analysis on over 45 operating solar facilities throughout Indiana and the Midwest in a variety of settings, including rural and suburban, with solar surrounding properties on 2, 3, even 4 sides, and with solar panels as close as 100 feet from the property. Our research on all these 45 studies shows that there has been no measurable consistent difference in the homes next to solar compared to the homes not next to solar, and including total sale price, price per square foot, days on market, rate of appreciation, nor does it deter new development. Next slide, please. So I'd like to walk you through one of those studies that we've conducted. This is the Riverstart Solar Project in Randolph County, Indiana. This 300 megawatt facility was constructed on over 1,500 acres. Next slide, please. This particular home sold after the completion of the solar facility. You can see the solar panels in the background. It sold for $250,000 or approximately $100 per square foot. We then compared this property to similar farmstead properties not next to the Riverstart Solar Project, which sold for an average of $100 per square foot, indicating that the Riverstart Solar Project did not impact the sale price of this property. We also spoke to the real estate agent who listed and sold this property, who stated that the buyers were not concerned about the solar project and that the property sold for full market value. Next slide, please. I mentioned that solar does not deter new development. This Dominion Indy Solar Farm was constructed in 2013. The middle picture shows the existence of the solar panels in a vacant lot. 3 years after the completion of that solar farm, a brand new 2-story home with in-ground pool was constructed within 150 feet of the solar panels, indicating that the presence of the solar farm didn't deter new construction. Next slide. Finally, we have conducted over 75 interviews with county and township assessors in Indiana with solar in their jurisdictions. They have stated that there has been no impact to property values due to the presence of solar. They have not changed the way they assess these homes. Next slide. In conclusion, we have based on our research and analysis using actual sales data, we have found no evidence that solar adversely impacts property values. This has been corroborated by academic papers, independent appraisers, real estate agents, and county assessors. Thank you. Happy to answer any questions, and I will turn it over to Hank Seltzer.
Question.
Yes.
If we have specific questions about data that was presented here or that's in the binder, would you prefer that we save those till after this presentation and then?
If you don't mind, just
because you're limited to your time.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Going back to the first slide. Yeah.
Oh, this is
So where Megan left off, right after the economic development.
This one is.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, we'll get started. Good evening. Nice to be here. My name is Hank Seltzer, and I'm an environmental director with Apex Clean Energy. I've been with the company for almost 9 years, and I'm responsible for compiling the special exception use permit application and the development standards variance request that are with you tonight. I'm going to give a brief overview of the special exception use permit application and then the development standards variance request that we submitted in early October. Then I will briefly summarize the 9 combined findings of fact that are in Articles 9.10 and 9.12 of the UDO. These 9 combined findings of fact fall into 6 categories that are shown here in orange, 1 through 6. The UDO states that the BZA must consider these 9 findings of fact before deciding whether to approve the special exception use application and the variance request. First, the special exception use permit application, which is the big binder. On October 2nd, we filed this permit application for Burlett's Creek Solar. This application is intentionally organized to follow the UDO's requirements for a solar power plant. And it includes information about each solar power plant standard and each submittal requirement that's included in Article 5.65 of the UDO. This application includes information about how the project meets development standards in an A1 Ag district, how it complies with environmental standards, and it also addresses findings of fact that you're considering tonight. We're also here to talk about our development standard variance request. The proposed project substation will require 3 electrical components, examples of which you can see in the photos up there, that will exceed the current 50-foot height limit in an A1 district. Height limit for structures, I should say. These 3 components in the proposed substation must exceed 50 feet to comply with the National Electric Safety Code and to meet design requirements from the interconnecting utility, which is Duke Energy. These 3 components are typical electrical equipment found in substations of similar size and voltage. Next slide, please. Okay, we talked about the 2 binders, the special exception use permit application, the development standards variance request. Let's review the 9 combined findings of fact that fall into these 6 subject areas. Again, this is Article 9.10, 9.12. Next slide, please, Jim. First, zoning intent and the comprehensive plan. The first finding of fact is that Burlett's Creek is consistent with the intent of the zoning district and the 2022 comprehensive plan. Solar power plants are already contemplated land use in A1 ag districts. Burlett's Creek is located entirely in an A1 ag district, as we've talked about. The county identified 3 land use goals in the 2022 comprehensive plan. Goal number 3 in the comprehensive plan is to plan for the development and utilization of alternative energy. Approving the special exception use application is an important step towards achieving land use goal number 3. Next slide, please. Public health and safety. Burlett's Creek is located entirely on private land and will be operated by qualified professionals as a secure and regulated electrical generating facility. Day-to-day operations at Burlett's Creek will not result in hazardous waste or byproducts, create harmful emissions or noxious odors, or otherwise compromise public health or safety. The UDO requires an applicant to study a solar project's potential for creating glare and noise. We had a third-party expert analyze both, and they found that neither glare nor noise impacts are anticipated. Those expert reports can be found in Appendix E and Appendix R in the big binder. As a stated land use goal in the comprehensive plan and as a contemplated land use in the UDO, solar energy is not inherently offensive to the community's morals. As you've already heard from Megan, this project provides numerous benefits to the community. You'll hear more from my colleague Kent in a moment about ways that Burlett's Creek can improve the general welfare of the community. Next slide. According to the UDO, solar power plants are already contemplated in an A1 ag district. Setbacks help maintain harmony with adjacent land uses. Solar facilities at Brulettes Creek are set back from homes and roads to maximize the distances from places where people work, live, and travel. Comply with the UDO, we've adopted a minimum of 50 feet setback from non-participating property lines, a minimum of 300 feet setback from all homes, whether they're participating in the project or not, and a minimum of 30 feet from a public right-of-way or 60 feet from the center line of a road, whichever distance is greater. Further, buffer yards will screen views of the project from sensitive areas like homes. Plantings in the buffer yards and in the project in general, inside the fence, will include native plant and tree species that are adapted for conditions in Vermillion County. Next slide, please. Brulettes Creek won't impede current ag operations on farms that are adjacent to the project, and it won't impede future ag operations on farms that are participating. The solar project will provide farmers with diversified sources of income that helps keep farms intact. We will be using native plant tree species, as I mentioned, in the buffer yards and inside the fence that are adapted for conditions here. No exotic landscaping or ornamental plants that die after a hard Indiana winter. The solar project will be using plants that belong here and that will be harmonious with the character of the district. Next slide, please. You've already heard from Ms. Bowen a few moments ago about how property values won't be negatively impacted by Brulettes Creek Solar. In the interest of time, I'm not going to elaborate on her comments, but I'm sure she'd be happy to answer any detailed questions you might have about the co-residence analysis. Finally, before granting our variance request, the board must find that a strict application of the UDO's development standards, that is, limiting the height of structures to 50 feet, will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. 3 electrical components, as I mentioned, in the proposed substation cannot feasibly be designed under the 50-foot height limit. These 3 components are typical of substations that are of similar size and voltage, and they're required to construct a functional grid interface that puts renewable electrons on the grid. Thank you for your time tonight, and I will turn things over to my colleague, Jeff Doherty, for some closing remarks.
Thank you, Hank. Good evening. I have had the pleasure over the years of meeting many of you, not on the BZA actually, but for those of you who I've not met, my name is Kent Doherty, and I'm a Vice President of Development for Apex Clean Energy. I've been working at Apex for over 16 years, and I think it's worth taking a second to mention that on my very first day, 16 years ago, with Apex Clean Energy, boots on the ground was here in Indiana. I spent the better part of 3 years in my second home at the Holiday Inn Express in Bluffton, Indiana, Wells County. A lot of water under the bridge since that time. I've had 2 kids. I've put some pounds on. I'm a lot grayer. I'm probably grayer since I first came to Vermillion County 6 years ago. And we've gotten a lot smarter about how to develop these very complex projects. My point is, at Apex, we're here for the long haul. We don't fade away easily. We're reliable, and we have what it takes to develop world-class energy projects in collaboration with the communities in which we work. My job here tonight is simply to summarize some of the key points you've heard tonight. First, I'd like you to please remember that this project is composed of respected local farming families, people who have given back to this community for generations, and who want this project to happen. Second, it is also a project sited entirely on private property. And we firmly believe, along with many others in this county, that private landowners have the right to make decisions about what they can do on their property, especially when it comes to the long-term benefit of their families. US made. We are negotiating agreements as we speak with Canadian Solar to buy panels for this project. Despite their name, Canadian Solar is actually one of the largest manufacturers of solar panels in the US. And just so you know, I'm not making this up for the sake of the hearing. This would be our 4th project with Canadian Solar. The cells for those panels would be manufactured 120 miles south of here in Jeffersonville, Indiana. The panels would be assembled in Texas before coming back here to the site. So, US-based developer, US-funded project, US-made panels. Makes me very proud to be able to make that statement to you. As you've heard, we've also engaged closely with St. Bernice, the community closest to this project, and have entered into a long-term financial relationship with the town, committing, as you heard, over $780,000. You have received letters and will hear from community leaders in St. Bernice later tonight. In short, I feel safe in stating that St. Bernice will benefit from this project and does support it. Part of the benefits this project will bring is in the form of an Economic Development Agreement, EDA, to be negotiated with the commissioners and county council. The current proposed payment, as you heard, is $5 million. An EDA payment, unlike regular tax revenue, can go towards whatever county leadership feels it's most needed. Discussions to date have included ideas for the following projects. Getting all the tornado sirens across the county up to speed, cost of about $200,000. A grant to support renovation effort at the Standard Opera House in Perrysville, also a $200 cost. A new ambulance, up to a $400,000 cost. Apex is also in discussions with Joint about how the project could fund filling in various gaps in fiber in northern Vermillion County and St. Bernice. This is not just talk. Apex has completed similar projects in 2 counties in Illinois. We had a long call with Joint on Friday, and just this morning they provided us with initial estimates. There are many more initiatives that can be funded with the EDA money, but let's be clear, none of this happens, none of it, without this project progressing tonight. 2 final points. Appreciate your patience, I'm almost done, but I think these are important. First, for better or for worse, Vermillion County hosts a number of high voltage transmission lines. That's one big reason we are here, and it is also the reason several other developers are here leasing land in the county. So yes, there are concerns about how much is too much land in the county. We get that 100%. However, we are here tonight to review this project and only this project. And I respectfully suggest that you should not deny approval of this project that clearly complies with the ordinance based on a fear of future projects. Instead, I would respectfully suggest that this project can be the gold standard by which other proposed projects are measured, and let Apex be the developer that sets the standard for how companies should behave with transparency, professional conduct, and community engagement. Why is our application 400 pages thick? It's not because it's stuffed with nonsense. It's because we went to great effort to prove beyond a shadow of doubt that the project is designed to comply with this county's laws. That is the rigorous standard we set for ourselves, and that you should set for anyone that follows us. And ultimately, you have ample tools at your disposal to control and limit future development, but that is a different conversation. And remember, it took us 6 years to get to here tonight. Nothing's going to happen tomorrow. You have time to figure this out. Second and last point. We have 5 additional agreements to negotiate with the county. You've heard about the Economic Development Agreement. We also have to have the commissioners sign a decommissioning agreement, a road use agreement. We have to present a drainage plan to the Drainage Board. And finally, we can't do anything without building permits. My point is, if the BZA approves this project this evening, that does not by any means give Apex the approval to start building this project tomorrow. Far from it. Apex cannot do anything without these additional agreements and permits. So even with your approval, the county retains complete leverage over this project. This approval would only kickstart all the hard work that is to come with county leadership. The only thing before you tonight is a somewhat narrow question. Does our application meet the standards of the UDO? We have many more negotiations with the county that follow this decision. In closing, this is a good project. I believe that it has broad support across the county. The letters and emails that have been sent in and the speakers you'll hear from tonight demonstrate this. Apex has proven to be a trustworthy and reliable partner. We have been here for the long term, and we will be here for the long term. We have shown professionalism in all of our relationships. We've engaged deeply with this community. And most importantly, we've always done what we said we would do. And when we couldn't, we made very clear reasons why. This project will bring meaningful financial benefits to the community for years to come. The question before the board tonight is simply whether the application meets the criteria of the UDO, and I believe that we have clearly shown that it does. Thanks again for your service to the county, and thank you for your time. How are you?
Good, great, excellent. I didn't set the timer.
I did.
Did you?
They were around.
Do we want to take a minute, let people stand up for a second? Do you mind?
No.
All right. Eric, if you want to stand up for a minute? Just to stretch.
Seventh inning stretch.
Come on. Those bitches, I said they're just for half of it, but I'm like,
have
I
these
want my
chairs
chair back.
sinking to the ground.
So we're not sitting in the
You did
chair,
that.
we're sitting.
You were here, yeah, you did, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, they're playing tonight. Alabama. Or University of Alabama.
Alabama got us last year and made us go down.
Football's over.
They just go around and.
How's the winery coming?
Well, we got some steel up.
Good. I saw that the other day. I saw 2 posts.
Yeah, well, we got more up, but they shorted the parts, so I'm making parts.
Play Texas Tech. Yeah.
Did you get it right?
Toro Steel, Future Builders, I don't know.
You stay on.
That ain't big enough. You gotta get the floor.
I called the guy.
That's crazy.
He said, "It's on the material list."
If he
Well,
can run fast.
I told him, I said, "I've never done that. You could give me a material list of my own, and I wouldn't go for that."
So would I. But I know, just in street ball, if you had somebody 6'2" and you're in 6th grade, bang. If it can get down there, Greg Oldham was the same way in 7th and 8th grade. He played against my boy. He couldn't get down that. My son was so worried, the defender, because he was so big. Ran, boom, down. Oh yeah, they had bulldozers. They worked hard. Yeah, remember he was at Terre Haute. In 7th and 8th grade, got his freshman Indiana school, get a little on the table. Moved him over there. And then Greg Fat Mott picked him up and groomed him over at Cox State.
All right. Think you're gonna finish up real quick?
All I'm gonna say is thank you for your attention. We are here to answer the BZA and APC's questions. I will try to act as our sort of intermediary to get your question to the right person. So thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, well, I guess we'll go now to questions from the BZA, and I'd invite questions from the APC members as well. We'll do that, and then after that, we'll go to public comment and questions. I think you guys had questions. Yeah. But
You can go ahead.
hit it. Thank you. As I went through your binder, I just jotted down some questions, and just to kind of clarify things. On the ground leases that were signed, which it looks like there's, I don't know, 15, 16 ground leases that are signed for a variety of different properties. If any of those ground lease people are out here, I'd also appreciate hearing from them. Is there a general statement on the quality of the farm ground that's being leased for the solar farm? In other words, my understanding is that farm ground is rated on highly productive, moderately productive, poor production, and I'm just curious as to particularly the people that have leased over 100 acres, what the quality of that farm ground is. Are there any?
Kent?
Sure. It's a good question. I don't have a specific answer for you, and we do have several landowners here tonight who I think can speak to that. My understanding is that is a real mix from productive ground to less productive ground. But I think the general sense is that this part of the county does not have the most productive ground.
Along with that, on those ground leases that were signed, it's my understanding that for just a general ag lease,
that the farmer would be paid in the vicinity of $250 to $400. Can you give a general statement of per acre what those ground leases were, what dollar amount those ground leases were per acre? Just a general statement. And I'm judging this on, we'll talk about that later. I'll ask my questions first.
Sure. I mean, my first response is all of the financial terms in the lease are confidential. And because we have many landowners here tonight, I wouldn't want to.
And I'm not asking for specific.
Yeah. The second part of that answer is probably 50% of the people in this county have received some solicitation from a solar developer. So for me to not say what the range is would be foolish. The range, I think, probably is anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 per acre.
Right, and that, I mean, that's
generally in Indiana.
And that's what I had heard too. I'm just kind of confirming. Along that same line, I'm assuming on the underground easements, that's a similar lease cost?
Those are negotiated individually.
Okay.
So those are very different structures.
Okay. What about, would you explain a little bit more about the solar project participation agreements? Just what is that? And why were those signed?
Why were they?
Why were those signed? The participation agreements.
So we have 23.
20-some?
23. And those are, I believe, all properties that are adjacent to the solar panel area. We long ago wanted to include those people who were going to be most impacted by the facility financially in the project. Let them share in the benefit of the project because they're adjacent to it. It would not be open to someone who's half a mile or a mile away.
So those are the 300 feet to?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
And the agreement itself, which we recorded, is there's no gag order, there's no confidentiality. It's a very, very simple agreement that simply allows them to participate financially and for us to be good neighbors with them.
And so there was a financial agreement with that also,
yes.
and can you give a range for that?
I'm not really, wasn't on that team that did that, but they're significantly less than there's panels. But it's a meaningful amount each year. It also goes up every year by inflation. So by the end of and they're for the life of the project. We can't terminate them. We can't say, hey, here's a good neighbor agreement, and then years later.
Okay.
So can I piggyback on that?
Yeah.
So for the ones that were in the book, in the data section in the book, that were participation agreements, those are people who are adjacent to the land that is going to be developed. Is that a correct statement?
Correct.
Okay.
That's a correct statement, yes.
And we have not gotten a list of the people who have signed leases.
Yeah, we did.
We did. We have. That was in the book too.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Is that inclusive of every parcel that's planned to be developed?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I did see all of those documents. Okay. Sorry.
I'm sorry too. So can you estimate how many pieces of property or how many landowners are still within the confines of the 300 feet minimum that have refused to sign leases or the participation agreement?
I would have to get back to you on that. I have that information.
Can you give me just a general?
Well, a general number?
Yeah.
Of folks that, let me look at my map. I want to look at my map and get you a more accurate number.
Okay. And what I'm really interested in is how many homes. I mean, again, I understand, you know, there could be ag property. I'm not as interested in that ag property as how many homes are in that area of the solar farm within the 300 feet of people that have refused the farm lease and refused to sign the participation agreement.
Absolutely, I'll look at that. I have right here my land agent who has been knocking on doors and talking to those folks. So I'll work with him and get you a more accurate number on that.
And again, a general one is fine, but I'm just curious.
Absolutely.
How many of the 23 agreements?
Oh, it's 10 to 12.
10 to 12.
How many of the 22 current agreements you have would be homeowners?
They are all homeowners,
I'm
except
sorry.
for, no, they're all homeowners.
We wouldn't offer one to ag land. We would only offer it to a home.
There was one family we looked at that was just land, but we're not signed with them. And they were anti, they just, we're not signed with them. But they didn't have a house, but everyone else has houses. Oh, one that doesn't, then it was, there is one that doesn't have a house.
Okay, all homeowners but one. Just a general question to the audience. Is there anyone present here that is one of the 10 to 12 people that did not want to sign a lease agreement or the participation agreement and have a home within the solar farm area? Is there anyone here? Just one person? Okay, we'll hear from you later. I'm sorry, I'm just making some notes so I can remember to go back. Does anybody else have any questions?
No, keep going, keep going.
Some of these are, well, Judy looks for some more questions here. I noticed in one of the slides that it said there was approximately 1,560 acres that are leased. The whole project is like 2,900 acres.
That's right, so that 1,560 is the paneled area. The 2,000 represents what would be the overall the project footprint. But we had to take into consideration setbacks from wetlands, forested areas, and whatnot.
Okay, so you have everything you need, either a lease or a participation agreement for everything.
That's right. That's right. And also it's important to note in that site plan that you're seeing, that is the max extent of what we could develop. So that's if
it's on the overhead.
Right.
The map.
We included everywhere just as we're getting the permit to include that. That's not everywhere we will build, but we needed to include it for this purpose.
Okay. You provided some statistics in your binder. I think it was, if I recall, page 33 on the appendix that did the property value study, indicating that there were 4 homes that had sold within the last couple of years. And it indicated their listing price, how many days on the market, and then the selling price.
Yeah.
Of those 4 homes that sold, I think it was in the last year and a half, 2 of them did not include an original listing price. And I'm curious as to what that listing price was as compared to what the sale price was.
It's a good question. We have included all transactions of homes that were essentially in the project footprint. If there is no list price, then it was not officially listed on the market, but it still sold.
So it was a private sale?
That's my understanding.
Okay, so my question back out to the audience, is anyone present on the 2 homes, whether previous owner or current owner, that are within this project area that sold within the last 2 years? And could I ask what your, were you one where the original listing price was not? You bought the house. Could I get my folder and look up? Could I ask what your address currently is?
11514 South Reed Street, Clinton, 47842.
Okay, so that's actually not listed as part of this study. So but you purchased it recently and it's within this area.
Yeah, they sent me a letter, and from what I looked at online, I am in this area way down below where the curve is. I'm from Florida. I don't know squat here.
Well, welcome to Indiana.
No, I'm going back. My question is, everything that I'm seeing is not showing exactly where this solar panel field is located, so I know where my home is.
Compared to that.
I'm sure some of these gentlemen and people here can help you with that before they leave tonight.
Thank you.
But thank you for answering my question.
Yes, ma'am.
So are you familiar with a study that was completed in January of 2025 from Posey County?
I don't.
Real estate study?
I don't think I am.
Okay, I mean, and that would be the most current study.
There have been 2 other studies. One was published by Virginia Tech, I think, in the summer, and then there's actually been a study that was published in the Appraisal Journal that was published, I think, last week. I have both of those physically here.
I was just looking at studies in Indiana.
Okay.
And then there was also a young man who completed a master's thesis at Purdue in August of 24 that did also a study of property values. And again, I'll discuss that information at a different time. I just wanted to ask a question if you're familiar with those.
I am not familiar with the Posey study, and I think I am only slightly familiar with the Purdue study because it was a thesis,
right,
and not a published study.
And like I said, I just was looking at only studies in Indiana, so I just wondered if that was included in as some of the criteria on the information that you get.
Real quick, while you're thinking of your next question, the yellow square up here on the map is this lady's house.
Oh, can somebody point that out?
I did. I went back and pointed it out to her, and then the black areas on here are where the panels are going to be.
Thank you.
Okay.
I was gonna say, as far as the notice, how many folks we noticed, so it was a lot. Oh, okay. 561.
Yeah, 561 certified notices were sent out about tonight's meeting. Here's a receipt.
And we've got them all back?
Yeah, everyone came out.
It says.
I think 409 are back.
And honestly, certified mail, a lot of people don't want them because they think it's a bill of lecture. I'm just saying. All right. Okay, we're gonna go on with Judy's next question.
Has there been any studies that you're aware of, and I'll look at probably Apex with the solar farm, on hail damage, and obviously that would be your responsibility to repair your own solar panels, but my understanding is that a recent hailstorm this past year through Illinois, there was significant damage, and in turn, some of those solar farms decided that it was too much damage to repair and have just started to decommission them. And I just wondered if you had done any studies or are aware of hail damage in Indiana in this area.
Yeah, I can start to answer that, and then I think Liam here from Horn can help finish it up. But the UDO requires a wind load study.
Right.
And this is included in the binder here. We basically had a certified engineer in the state of Indiana analyze the panels that we're proposing, and they concluded that they would be safe up to wind speeds up to 140 miles an hour.
Right, and I'm aware of that.
Okay. which exceeded the 100-mile-an-hour
Correct.
requirement in the UDO.
That's wind.
Doesn't specifically address hail.
Correct.
So I might ask.
I'm just curious, and I know it's not addressed, I know it's not required to be addressed.
Sure.
I'm just curious, based on the fact that there was significant damage at solar farms in Illinois in a hailstorm that occurred within the last year, to the point that many of them, and again, I don't know that they have the panels that you're looking at and the quality of their panels. I'm not familiar with any of them in particular. I was just curious if you are familiar with solar farms that have hail damage that you have been involved in. I guess Apex, I'm addressing, you can simply, because I don't know who else to address on this.
Sure.
The quick answer is no, sorry.
Okay.
We have not.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to hear from Liam about hail risk. I mean, it's not in the UDO necessarily, but I would be shocked if, I'd be curious to speak to you afterwards about those farms in Illinois. We've not heard that. It's a $460 million investment. If a bunch of panels get busted up, we're going to replace them.
Okay.
They're also on trackers, so I'm out of my wheelhouse here. These guys know a lot more about it, but we would have our O&M team would be tracking weather constantly and would turn the trackers to 90 degrees so that there'd still be damage, but they're not just flat to the sky.
All right, and perhaps the others weren't.
They might not have been
sure.
on trackers. They might not. Yes.
Okay, and I guess I was just curious with
Sure.
that. Any other questions? Okay. I've got a couple more, or one more. So I know as we go through the finding of facts, and I think all of us on the BZA, or I'll speak for myself and perhaps my members here, I mean, we take our position very seriously because we're responsible for making a decision that is beneficial to the county, to the residents of the county, as well as to the businesses that are coming into the county. So I feel like we take our position very seriously. Typically, what we've done is after we've gone through the finding of facts, we're allowed to make certain considerations placed on the project before well, it's actually after we make our final determination. I guess my question is, and Penny, you may have to answer this too, as well as my other members up here. I would feel more comfortable with some confirmations from a variety of county people that are much more familiar with certain specific things, and I can mention those in just a minute, confirming with Apex and the solar farm project that they agree with or feel as if something is appropriate before I have to make that decision that it is appropriate without being an expert in fields, in areas such as drainage and bonds and invasive plants and whatever. I've read the binders, I'm generally familiar, but I would certainly like an expert to say to me, and I'll use you, Ron, as the example, simply because you're at the end of the thing there and I've looked at you, is I would feel a little bit more comfortable that Ron and members of the drainage boards say to me prior to us going to the finding of facts that, yes, we have sat down and the plan that is presented appears to be appropriate.
Quint met with the drainage board last week.
Okay.
And those boys are very serious about drainage. Their livelihood depends on it. And plus we also have a CE civil engineer on our board. I think they laid things out what they thought, and you did your presentation, and I think the drainage board is very satisfied with what Quint's going to come up with. Now he still has to
right, and I know it would be general, but again, I've listed about, I don't know, a dozen different people or agencies that I would feel a little bit more comfortable if the variety of county people would make a statement, whether they meet individually with solar people, with Apex, and just say, yes, I agree with that, or we're, with what we have so far, we think it's okay, rather than some of the open-ended things or the things that I'm not as familiar with, simply because I don't know your business, just as you wouldn't know my profession necessarily. If I said to you, here, let's do this, you'd have to say to me, you know, I don't understand your expertise.
I think the board is very satisfied with what Quinn's proposing.
Okay, but I'm asking,
I'm safe in saying
does
that.
that make sense what I'm asking? I've got like 10 different agencies that I'd like to hear from ahead of time, that they're okay with besides soil.
The more of these Indiana renewable energy things that I go to, the more I realize just how ignorant I am about renewable energy. And today was a very eye-opening experience.
Well, another example of what I'm talking about, though, and Ron, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Another, for example, is I would like to hear from our county attorney or the commissioners that the financial guarantee that is proposed is appropriate. I don't know that it's appropriate. I read it, it's there, it's part of the plan, but I don't know if it's appropriate. And I would rather have our county attorney or the commissioners say to me, yeah, it's appropriate. There's a commissioner. Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Bill Peoples, Vermillion County. I live in 475 North Maple Street in Dana. We are currently seeking advice from professional people that deal with solar panels to make sure before we sign any agreement that it is right for Vermillion County. So we're not signing any agreement until our council has a chance to review everything moving forward and bless off on it for us. We don't do this every day, he does.
Right.
So we're not going to proceed with anything that's going to put Vermillion County residents in detriment of any way, if that makes sense to you. I've got landowners out here that I've known forever. I'm here to support landowners that want solar panels on their farms, and I'm here to support the landowners that don't. So look at it however you want to, and therefore I support Apex. So.
Well, like I said, what I'm looking for, though, is a written statement from the variety of people, and I just used you two as the example. Prior to starting through that finding of facts, I would like to hear and have a written statement, if it's allowed, from a variety of people within the county that says, based on their level of expertise, they are in agreement. Because again, I feel as if we are a neutral source here. I have to consider the residents as well as I have to consider the business. And I don't necessarily have the expertise to say that the financial guarantee is appropriate. Yes, there is a financial guarantee, but is it appropriate?
We're working on that. That's
So
all I can,
that's what I'm
promise at this
saying
point
is,
in time.
can we, is it appropriate to ask that some of those considerations be placed in writing prior to us starting through the finding of facts? And I don't know how we go about doing that, or Ron, do I need to check with you?
Are we going through the finding of fact tonight?
That's a whole different question.
Well,
but I'm just saying
that'll answer your question. If we are, then no, we're not going to have.
No,
what
but
you
again,
want.
before we start through that finding of facts, whether it's tonight
So
or
our
another
ordinance
day.
doesn't say that we have to have these signatures.
Right, or a written statement. I know it doesn't, but but at the end of the consideration, I can request that. But I'm saying prior to starting through the finding of facts, can we request that information or have those people present so that we have a better understanding of the extent of this project and how it impacts the entire county?
So Judy, are you thinking like do that as a condition? Like we could, if we decided to approve, we could say conditioned upon getting these reviews.
Right, I'm just asking for the condition ahead of time.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's appropriate or not.
So respectfully, I'll give you my experience working with these. Your roadmap is your ordinance. I completely understand your concern, and let's take the financial guarantee as for example. That has to be negotiated with the council and the commissioners, the economic development agreement. There are also financial guarantees that fall in the decommissioning agreement.
Right.
That is signed off on by the commissioners.
Correct.
There are also financial guarantees in the road use agreement. That is signed off on by the commissioners. That process can take 4, 5, 6 months. To have that process run and then come back to findings of fact, I mean, I would submit that would be maybe not appropriate, because your hearing record, your evidence will be so stale by the time that you get there.
I understand that.
And that is also, I would just say, from sort of a separation of powers perspective, who does what? Commissioners hire lawyers to negotiate and make sure financial terms are right. There's give and take.
Right.
And in some ways, you have to trust that the other offices of government are going to take care of the residents for the subject matters that are in their lane, if you will.
So, and like I said, I was just, well, you know what I was asking.
Yeah,
so instead, the process, and I know the process is, we go through the findings of facts, and then we list as additional considerations what we want, or what we would require prior to the permit being issued. Is that correct?
Well, you can put conditions on it.
Right.
But again, if the condition is going to be that you have to have, a negotiation take place first, that would really definitely drag it out.
Sorry.
Judy, can I answer a little bit of your financial question?
Sure.
You gotta talk loud though. Okay. Ashley James, County Council President. I have a few other members from the council with me. Kelly is also here in the back. In the past, with the financial agreements, it has been the commissioners and the council. We formed a committee to review them. In the past solar project, we had that committee, we had the attorneys. We also compared other local agreements, like Sullivan had some, to make sure that ours was comparable to what they were offering. We compared the megawattage, we compared the land use, we compared tax rates, we compared all those different things, but it was done after the meeting.
Okay.
But it is something that we take very seriously. We do have attorneys that are qualified to do this, and we work on those negotiations, but we have done it in the past that way. And
Okay.
I think that is the intention with the commissioners, to do that again. I've spoken with them.
And there's 4 council members there.
Yes. And
So you got all the commissioners and basically the council. So we're, I'm gonna say, just generally, with proceeding forward on everything else that needs to be done, we're
Okay.
still in favor of this project moving forward.
we will do the due diligence to make sure that the offers are adequate. I was put in to talk during public speaking.
Okay.
So I can.
Thank you. I appreciate that
Thank you.
clarification. I'll leave my questions.
Okay, I have a general question for just general business. Apex, like this map here, shows all your projects. I was curious as to, a lot of them are showing not as owned or operated. What percentage are you operating? Are you operating?
So those,
Of
yeah,
all your
those are all,
projects.
that is our entire portfolio of projects, which some of which are like this, more of a development and not an operational project.
Right.
As far as total operational, Jay, do you have that?
To date, we have commercialized, meaning we brought into operations 48 utility scale projects.
Okay.
Since 2009, the number's 48. We're currently operating, I believe that right now we're at 40. I think, but I'd have to double check that number.
But someone else operates those, not.
So you sell them.
My next question is, what's the time frame to sell your project, where you won't be working with these landowners and somebody else will be? Where's the time frame in that?
Yeah, and I haven't introduced myself. So I'm Gerald Hess. I'm with Apex Clean Energy. So I think it's important to say that from 2009, when Apex was founded, until about 2021 officially, really 2020, Apex's business model as a much smaller company was to develop and sell projects, which is why a lot of those projects on that map were sold. In 2021, we announced a change to our business model where we are now an owner-operator of projects. So since 2022, our business model is to own and operate our utility scale projects, which is why, you know, we currently have, I think it's 14 right now that we're operating that we've developed since that change in the business model.
Okay.
Before that, we were selling them. Now, to be clear to everyone, there are some states where we have to sell. For example, Colorado, only a utility can operate a utility scale project. So we do still sometimes sell projects, but our preference and our business model now is to own and operate.
How many have you sold since 22?
Well, I can think of 4. I want to
4
say, I mean, it's less
out of
than
how
10.
many?
Well, we brought online, we're operating 14, so I would say we probably sold less than 10, and we're operating somewhere between 10 and 20 in the last 4 years.
So about half you have sold in the past 4 years?
I would say we have, I think it's like a quarter to a third, right? Because out of, call it 20 projects, we've kept 14 and sold somewhere around 5 or 6.
Okay.
And I can get you exact numbers if you want, but that's my recollection.
Okay, just curious on that.
Yes, sir.
And I think that's, you hear that a lot, that a company develops something like this, whether it's solar or wind or carbon. And then you sell it to another company. So all of this trust and, you know, all the relationship that we've built up just goes out the window then. And I wonder, like, some of the like decommissioning agreements and the bond that covers that. What if you sell this whole project? How, that's a worthless piece of paper then. How does that work?
Well, it runs with the project, but I think it's important to hand it over to
I'll start and then we might ask Liam to come up. So you would hold the bond and it would be in your control and protect Vermillion County regardless of who owns the project. So the proposed decommissioning surety bond, and a bond is just a financial instrument that is, think of it like an insurance policy, right? And the point is you are the listed beneficiary. Vermillion County is the listed beneficiary. Vermillion County owns that, holds that, controls that, regardless of who owns the project.
But you have to pay that insurance company year after year after year. So you've gone out of business, or it's not yours anymore. Who's paying for that insurance then?
Great question.
The new owner?
Great
Maybe?
question. So what we negotiate very hard for our surety bonds to put language, and the language is on the top line of page 2 of that surety bond. I can quote it because I negotiated it. Failure to pay the premiums on this bond does not invalidate them. That's on purpose, so that I can stand in front of you and say, that's there so that if we stop paying, we go bankrupt. That's not your problem, that's the surety's problem.
Okay.
But I'll maybe turn it over to Liam, who's our decommissioning expert. He can maybe put that in context for you.
Good evening. As Jay said, my name is Liam Sawyer from Kinway Horn. My office is in Indianapolis, 500 East 96th Street. I'm a licensed engineer in the state of Indiana, and I put together this decommissioning plan. And I think, as Jay said, the key is that the way the decommissioning plan is, which for those of you that don't know, is the plan that when the project is not operational, how do you take everything back so it can go to farmland again? It is to the benefit of Vermillion County in a multitude of ways, and how we designed the amount that the bond was, and I think really importantly, as Jay said, and this is not common, is he said he had to negotiate with the surety, which again, let's think of it again like an insurance company. To have that statement that says that the premium is not paid, that it doesn't invalidate the bond at all, which really for the sake of Vermillion County, that's extra protection for you. Because there's nothing that you have to do with Apex then, or whoever might own it, but Apex, you just go to surety and say, we want to collect that bond, and then you get that money to basically go and decommissioning it if they went bankrupt. And that's, at least in my experience, that is not very common for this type of financial agreement. Apex probably had to negotiate hard with the surety company to do that. So that's an added level of protection. And then I could go through other levels of protection in the decommissioning if you want. So with that, there is conservatism built in. So we set the bond price. It's about 25 million, just shy there. And that's basically, we go line by line of every component on the project and plan. And then we have a cost item of how much does that take to cost to go take out. Then we do that, we add inflation as your code requires. And then something else that's not common, only to the benefit of Vermillion County, is that we add a 10% contingency on that as well. That is not required by UDO. That is something that Apex has done voluntarily for that bond, so that's just, again, purely to the benefit of Vermillion County to do that. And then this also, again, has to go and get agreed to by your council, but it also gets revalued. Your code requires it every 5 years, so it's not stuck in price right now, and that bond gets reassessed. So there's, again, built-in benefit to the county to protect the county in case something were to happen to Apex at the end of life of the project. But happy to answer any more specific questions as well.
That answered my question.
I got a question on the decommission. How much material can be left on site?
So the way the decommissioning plan is written, and per your code, all material will be removed from site. There is in your code a statement that, let's say, a landowner, because this is all lease and theoretically goes back to farmland. Landowner says, I want that fence to remain there because I like that fence, I'm going to use it. They could say, please keep that fence. If not, everything comes out of the ground.
Everything?
That is how your code is written, how the plan is written.
Transmission lines?
What I read was down to 3 feet.
3 feet is what I saw.
Yeah, the things could be,
that is
all they have to do is remove things that are 3 feet down.
Below grade. 3 feet to below grade. Yeah. So anything below 3 feet could be remained, is what I picked up. So
that's our UDO.
Yeah, and I think
your code.
And I think our UDO says 3 feet.
Yes, that's our UDO. They're within compliance of the UDO.
Yeah, I'm just curious because I'm kind of going stepwise here, but you plant corn, the roots can go like 6 feet deep. Now, this is like a pile here and a pile here and a pile here, and they're not a solid base down there. There's like posts. Well, that corn that's planted on top of that, 3 feet's fine, but when those roots are trying to go down there, isn't that going to significantly alter the value of that farmland if you're trying to restore it back to its original condition?
Yeah, I could explain about particularly the decommissioning of, we would call them piles, the posts. They're a solid, usually W6 by 12 or something, piece of metal. So when you go to, it's a solid piece of metal. It's not like pouring concrete or anything like that where there's separate pieces. You're going and you're pulling the entire piece of metal out. It would be significantly more expensive to try to weave any of that below ground than just pulling the entire.
Driving it farther down or something.
Yeah, no, you're pulling the entire piece of metal out. So specifically for piles, that is written that way.
I couldn't say it any better.
That answered my question.
Any other questions?
I'm just gonna think this is stupid, but what is the purpose of decommissioning? If it's still working, why get rid of it?
So, yeah, I can't answer exactly from Apex, but again, these are land leases, and one of the biggest benefits of solar, again, is that for the life of the project is that it can go back to agricultural land if wanted by the landowner, right? They have signed a term for a lease. So it is to allow the landowner to basically get it back in the same or better condition once the project is done. So, but if throughout the life of the project, if it's working, there would be no reason to come and decommissioning it, right? And then how it's also to a benefit of the county is, let's say that they just stop operating it for, I believe your code says 18 months. That's where that bond comes in, because you don't want something if it's out there that's not working, it's taking up land, right? That's where that bond comes in, so you could go pay a qualified professional to take everything out, so you could go, hey landowner, here's your land back, go back to farming, go back to development. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
And we don't have to worry about what to do with the panels. There's discussion about they can't be recycled, you can't put them in the landfill. Do we as a county need to worry about that if it comes to decommissioning?
That's all on us. And there are recycling for these panels.
There are now?
They are, yeah. I was going to add, to your point, we intend to own and operate this project. So that's the business plan for this project, just one. And two, we haven't had to decommission the project. So to your, if it goes to the life of the project, we wanted to get to the life of the project. So yeah, just wanted to add that in there.
Okay.
One other thing that concerned me, and I was involved with the development of our comprehensive plan and with the development of our UDO. I've been on board for all of that. And the solar ordinance and the wind ordinance and all of those. All the time that we were doing that, I'm picturing it being like some big open fields, and it's going to be full of windmills or it's going to be full of solar panels. When I first saw the map of this one, that was an eye-opener. I didn't know anybody was thinking about putting them in around everybody's house. You've got your lines go like this, and then they cut out this little house here, and then they go clear up here, and this tiny little strip that goes down, and look at it. Why? Why did you target that area instead of big open fields so didn't affect so many residents?
I can take a stab at that to begin. As I mentioned, we have this project with MISO and Duke Energy. And so if you look on, where is the line, where you can see the line, we are connecting to the 345 line that runs north and south there. And we have to, that is where our project connects to the grid. So that's like the center of where we have to look.
Was that the kind of purple thing that there was a purple line on the side of the...
Is it the black line?
No, it's about a half a mile west of 71. I drove down there and looked at it today.
Purple or fuchsia or...
There's a different map that shows where actually the panels are compared to everything. And that line's there.
That's where our project started to gravitate toward, that's where we're connecting. And so that's why we decided we were talking to landowners within that area who were interested in this project. Why, as I mentioned, why it looks like that is you're looking at, there's a lot of forested areas that we have to avoid due to bad habitat and wetlands and floodplains that we have to stay off of. So we're doing our best here to make it as condensed. It makes sense for us to make it condensed. But that area there, that is where our line connects. And we are actually, all of those projects are connecting.
So you couldn't take that and just move it one higher?
It's like doing a big puzzle. You have to, and it really does take a lot of time to get it, one, for a design process to make sense for energy efficiently. But yeah, it's not as easy as you think to make it just this one big old place. If we could do that, it makes really good sense for us to do that.
Yeah.
But it's not. That's not the reality of how these projects work. It's not. Maybe somewhere, maybe there is a place that you can do that.
Is there one in Newport? Is there a solar project?
At the Rise.
Right.
At the Rise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it all on one?
Why not Rise?
Is it all on one? Does it look like that?
No.
Transmission lines aren't rise like that.
Were you not on BZA then? You weren't on BZA. No, it'd be more compact layout.
And it's just a lot.
It's
more
also a smaller project, but yeah, it's probably likely
It's 10%.
There's not as many setbacks. Is my guess.
10% of this.
No, it's 10% smaller.
Yeah.
Not significantly smaller.
When you first started, were you looking at like around Universal, the old mine ground?
Yeah.
And that
We were.
didn't turn out.
It's a shame. It has a lot of potential, and I shared with Penny and some other board members, we did a lot of studies to understand, could we develop there? And after, we're talking 4 different independent studies.
Where did you say, Kevin?
Universal.
Universal.
Westwood Universal.
I'll just say for the record, I was the biggest cheerleader of that area. And what we found is, unfortunately, due to drainage, there's a lot of reasons I can point to, and I can show you those studies. Unfortunately, for constructability, we couldn't do it.
I can see that.
Yeah, there's some major, somebody may go out there, but it couldn't be us.
So a question about the special exemption use, if that's okay. BC, not BZA. But the decision, one of the first points in the 9.10 special exemption use, the proposed special exemption use is consistent with the intent of the zoning district and the comprehensive plan. So the comprehensive plan our county adopted in 2022, it lists specific growth opportunity areas that are more geared towards industrial sites, which is really what this is, I would think. This is a project twice the size of Clinton. It's enormous. So could you explain why you did not choose a growth opportunity area and how this is consonant with the comprehensive plan?
Well, they're thinking about it. I think the comprehensive plan does have a goal, I think it's number 3, that Hank talked about for increasing renewable energy projects. So, and I would respectfully take exception with a characterization that this is an industrial use. Industrial use, to my mind, is a steel mill. It is a data center. It is something that emits pollution. It's not a renewable energy project. So respectfully, I would submit that this use is absolutely called out in your comprehensive plan, so it is consistent.
But again, I'm sorry, back to my question. You did not look at the growth opportunity areas that are specified in the comprehensive plan as potential spots for this project. Does anybody know that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Versus farmland, which that's the whole reason you're looking for a special exemption. I don't think a special exemption would have been as necessary in those GOAs.
I'll answer it first. This is speculative, but I would imagine that the various boards we presented to and commissioners would not want a solar project in the designated growth area because that would prohibit growth. Am I wrong?
No, it's geared towards industry. That's kind of the idea. So
This is not industry, respectfully. And this is very commensurate with ag use. All of our leaseholders are farmers who have made the decision that this will augment their agricultural income. I think it's
just, Brent, maybe to answer your question, I went through all the leases and all the memorandums of leases at Apex. Their project is just, well, let's just say 3,000 acres. The total number of acres that's recorded that we know about is 19,000. And we know there's other acreage out there that's not been recorded. So of the 7 or 8 companies that are out there knocking on doors, I do know there's some in the northern end of the county that's in close to that enterprise zone.
GOA, or is that what you're referencing? Like that are actually in the GOAs that are specified in the
Well, they're basically they're going up 63. And the sandy ground went up 63.
Wasn't the comprehensive plan finalized in 2022?
Yes, that's correct. And that's
Did I
what I was
misspeak?
going.
2022, I thought I said.
Yeah, I was going to lead on that. This started in 2019. A lot of people don't understand how long this project's been in the works. And you're correct that it did start in Universal. But at the same time, the Area Planning Commission did not have a solar ordinance. So the commissioners at that time reached out to us to start development. Well, at the same time, Apex also was looking at wind energy. And a lot of people here that I recognize back when we started to develop that, well, we didn't have a wind ordinance. So Apex as business partners sat through as we developed these. They never made recommendations. They were hoping that we would develop something that they could actually develop in. But with our standards, they couldn't. So when you go back and you ask why this area, this area has been chosen before the UDO ever took process. We did not have a UDO. Our area plan zoning maps were crayons pretty much from Clinton. And so I just want to bring people up to speed and hope and understand that this area was chosen before that ever took place. And I even went back and looked at the agreements between the landowners, and they're dated 2021, 2020. So this has been in a process before we went into a comprehension plan and updated our comprehensive plan.
That was my point.
And and I wanted to allude on to that because we converse. As a county, you hear these things of, what about going up north, and what about going to Rise? The Rise that's their development area. Hopefully that's an industry. I mean, that's pretty much why we bought it. We're talking about like the big logistic warehousing, and we're talking about manufacturing, the Menards raft, where they build the Raptors and all that. Well, it hasn't happened. But anyway, that's a whole different ballgame. What I have as APC, this was a gold star presentation. As a county, obviously we don't have solar. So we're going to learn through this of what we need to do for our ordinance. One thing is to limit it. Just like if you look at Randolph County, they were very hard county to even develop. Then you go back and look at today, and then everything's coming into play as far as their financial, the farmers that lease the ground up there to the solar farms, the community, they're now bought into that. But I think we would have to go back and limit and amend our ordinance, because next thing you know, this is agriculture. This is agriculture, I agree. We just don't want our agriculture to be consumed by solar farms. So maybe we would, as the APC, recommend to the commissioners, okay, we've established we'll have one solar farm within our county. So that's things that I think we can look at as leaders of the community and project so it does not get consumed, because that would be a consumed if I lived in the north. And it'd be my personal observation, I wouldn't want our county to be consumed in solar panels.
But if the landowner is agreeing to it, we're not taking it from them.
No, I'm not at all taking it from them. I'm just saying, for further down as the county, there is concerns. This is a gold star that's been working with the county since 2019 to get this developed. I haven't seen anybody in this courtroom or in this commissioner's room to ever come in here and work with us on the APC, or when I was on the BZA. This is the first time by a company. So I respect that, and I understand that's a concern when we're talking about different areas. Can it go to this area? Can it go to this area? I give respect to the company that comes in and wants to invest, and they focus on one area and they're not looking at other areas to consume the whole county. That's my intake on it.
And just to clarify, so the comprehensive plan was adopted in 2022, and the special exemption is being sought now, so it includes the comprehensive plan as understood in 2022. So even though this project was started antecedent to that, it's still considered, right?
Right.
Okay.
Comprehensive plan in effect the night you vote.
Right.
I gave it in respect of the EDO to be published. Their offices in Clinton up on the hill, considering up across from Walmart. And there have been many town halls discussing this project. It's not blind in my eyes at all. It's been ongoing. And so our EDO came around. Apex, and I could be speaking out of line, as professional as they are, they pulled off and waited for the EDO to be developed, and then proceeded knowing that, okay, now they know what they got to look at. The variance that they are here tonight in front of the BZA to ask for. And then from there, they got so many more hurdles to go, but we have to think that they did not hide, they've been available. And it's shame on us if we didn't go and approach before we got this point, but I understand the respect that they have given this county by being available and waiting until that UDO was developed and then went from there. Because if our UDO was developed with the harsher stringency in that ordinance for solar farms, they may not have been here tonight. So that's my intake on it.
This line here.
Just going along with that, 2/3 of the presenters today at that meeting, that was one thing they really stressed: work with the developers. As you go through your ordinances, as you go through your resolutions, as you do this, as you do that, get their input, because they will keep you from making an awful lot of mistakes. It'd come back and bite you. So, that's Purdue's take on it.
It goes on that line. Yep. Substation. Think of it just like here. It just goes onto that line. And those electrons just go and they go where they need to go. But that's where you have to connect. That's right. Yeah.
Do we have any other questions for the?
No, I'm not.
You guys know?
Yeah.
I'm happy with the project. I went and looked at it yesterday, so I understand.
John, you done?
I'm done.
Do you have a question? Okay, so Joe, you're up. Yep.
Just real quickly on status of, you'd spoken earlier, Megan, on bat habitat. Do you have a report from DNR, U.S. Fish and Wildlife on bats?
We don't. We opted to not do the bat surveys, the field surveys, and in turn, we then just avoided those areas.
Okay.
Yeah, Hank's our guy. So that would.
When I'm not busy working on these types of things, I handle all the state and federal permitting for wildlife, natural resources, wetlands, et cetera, for our projects. We've done pretty extensive work on wetlands, on cultural resources. We have mapped all of the potentially suitable habitat for state or federally protected bats. We're going to be avoiding as much of that as possible. As Megan said, we've got our impacts down to a handful of acres, probably under 10 acres. There's no consultation requirement with the Indiana Department of Wildlife, and there's only a consultation requirement with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service if we exceed certain habitat. Like if we go over 10 or 15 acres of bat habitat that we need to clear, then we have to consult with U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and that's based on guidance that they put out last year. So we're currently only planning, like I said, like a handful, hopefully less than 10 acres of habitat that needs to be cleared. We'd be under that consultation threshold for Fish and Wildlife Service.
So there will be a bat study for that, bat recordings?
We have a bat
soundings?
habitat assessment study, yes.
Okay.
It's not included in the binder because it wasn't a UDO requirement.
Yep,
But I'm happy to share that with you.
I thought you were asking about field studies, so sorry.
Yeah, sorry. We didn't do the presence absence surveys. No, and that's because we got our tree clearing down to levels that do not trigger surveys.
Okay.
So you only need to consult with Fish and Wildlife Service if you're going to exceed that acreage threshold, and then you have to consult with them. They have to approve your study plan. So we just didn't go through that process because we're under the acreage threshold.
Okay. The wetlands delineation, what's the status on that?
We've delineated most of the parcels. I would say there might be one or two that we've added this year that we haven't got a wetland crew out to look at yet. But we've virtually surveyed and delineated wetlands and streams across the project site. We're going to be avoiding wetland and stream impacts to the greatest extent practical. I don't think we currently have any stream or wetland impacts planned.
done phase 1 environmental work on some of the parcels?
We have done a phase 1 environmental assessment, correct? On the entire project boundary plus it's either a half mile or a 1 mile buffer. I have to check. Usually the EDR standard is half mile. Check on that.
And the status of that is?
It's complete. There were no recognized environmental conditions.
So there will be no phase 2?
No phase 2. Okay, thanks.
I have a question on this solar farm. Is it considered high impact, low, medium? What is that? What is it considered when you're going into agriculture? Is it high impact, low impact? How would you describe it?
Sorry, I'm not tracking your question. When you say is it high or low impact, is this the same question we had before about is the land considered high value?
It's well in the comprehensive plan. It says that future land use policy would support the desire to continue the existing rural and agricultural character and encourage lower impact uses in significant portions of the county. So
I haven't committed your comprehensive plan to memory, but I don't believe that it defines one way or the other whether solar is considered low impact or not. But maybe others in the room have. But I think that's kind of in the eye of the beholder.
Mm-hmm. And then you've mentioned a couple times goal number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Goal number 1 is update the county zoning, which has been done with the UDO. Goal number 2 is promote the growth opportunity areas, which has been mentioned that you overlooked and you wanted to place it here. So the number 3 goal is plan for development and utilization of alternative energy. But it seems like you skipped goal number 2, which is focus on these GOAs.
So the way I would look at that comprehensive plan is that the plan identified 3 goals. It didn't say that they have to be done in order or to the exclusion of each other. You look at all kinds of things that the county could do, and you identify your top 3 goals is what you all did. Your 3rd goal, it doesn't say it's in order of priority. It's just one of the 3 goals is renewable. And again, back to the growth area, my interpretation of that would mean a growth area is where you want to encourage new,
isn't this new
industry? Well, but like a productive use, like warehousing.
Is this productive? This is not productive?
It's productive, but it's not like a high employment. For example, if you had a warehouse. The
county's not going to benefit a lot of high employment from it.
Right, this does not have high employment post-construction.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 400, I think they said 400 construction jobs. And then after the fact, it's not at all on the scale of like a warehouse.
But do you have the numbers for that after it's?
Yeah. For operational, it's roughly 2 to 3.
2 to 3 people?
Yeah. And the operations and maintenance facilities here, as I mentioned, on site.
Can we follow up on your question about impact, low impact versus can we just give a better answer?
Sure. I think one of the ways we think about this as a low impact use is getting back to what Liam was describing with the piles. There's no permanent other than the O&M building, which would require a nice slab, right? Foundation. You're not putting in concrete piers or foundations anywhere else in the project. We're also going to let the project achieves its full operational life cycle and goes to 30 years. That's 30 years of soil resting, building soil microbes, building soil health, doing things that native plants can do to rebuild and restore soil health. So, it's very possible that also helps achieve that low impact use over the life of the project and really ameliorates that initial construction disturbance.
Okay, thank you.
So,
once we get more public input from those who are specifically the non-participating, probably want to have to comment if they're here, kind of go through their sites one by one. So you might keep that in mind as we you know, like you've got the circles on your map that show non-participating.
I did, yeah.
So it's, at some point in time, specifically if they're here tonight to ask for a change or object or something like that, I might want to ask or talk about that on an item by item basis. So keep that in mind. One other quick question I might have: you have a significant amount of property that is participating parcels, but do not have any solar panel facilities on them, and they look to be nice large parcels on the map. Is there a reason those are not being utilized?
Show me which ones.
I'm looking specifically at all the orange slashed area.
That's because, Joe, they do not have assigned solar. They are under an underground collection easement.
Okay.
Okay. I would have preferred to use that for solar, but they are actually there for
So you're
collection.
saying those are participating because they have an underground easement?
Correct.
Only,
Yeah.
and they did not wish to have panels on that property?
Correct. They're participating. They wanted to be part of the project, but for various reasons, they just opted to sign we call it a UCE instead of a solar lease.
Okay. Because if you filled those bigger areas up in there, it would make your project much more
I hear you.
compact and move away from the town.
I like that idea, but we signed them with the UCE.
Okay, thank you.
So I think we've gone through most of our burning questions. I wanted now to open up to the people in the room, the public, to the public hearing, to have everybody share their thoughts. So officially opening the public hearing. And I would like to hear from, I think there was one person in the room that is not participating and not signing the lease. Yeah. Can you come up and tell us your viewpoint on this?
Barb, excuse me, can you clarify are you opening it up for the variance or for the overall? Because special exception towards the special exception only.
Right, that's
Right.
that's all she's, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
just
that's
special
my understanding
exception.
too.
The things they're asking tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just say your name and.
Rebecca Farrington, 3205 and 3209, West 1050 South.
And what are your thoughts about this?
I don't own the property surrounding our drive and our two homes. It's really small up there on the map.
We can't hardly hear.
Oh, sorry.
Speak up.
Is that a little better? No. I'm not loud. We don't own the property around our house. Essentially, the fields are in front of us and behind us. So I'm not here to say what somebody can and can't do. I'm just going to protect what's ours. And so we did not want to void any of the setback.
What
by
is your,
signing.
sorry, what is your address? I'm gonna pull you up on that.
Okay, 3205.
3205.
And 3209, West 1050 South.
And 1050
So,
is
are there
where
two homes or
71
what?
curves.
Two homes?
I can only pull up one address at a time.
But 1050 south.
And the size of your acreage?
We have 22 total.
22 acres?
Yes. So we own the front house and then the back house, and that is our driveway.
So you see the yellow, that's
That's
one
our
of the
drive.
front ones over here.
Okay. So there's going to be a lot of panels in your backyard.
In the front yard, yes.
That's your front yard.
Yeah.
Do you have the map that you can put up there of their setbacks?
Which one?
The one I held up a little bit ago.
How does that one help us?
Well, it shows where the stuff is. These would be the two homes she's talking about.
So these black lines are where the panels are gonna be.
Yeah.
So that's what
Yeah, okay.
the mapping people were able to do with the shape file.
Okay.
As far as getting it out here so we could see it
They
on the
have
map tonight.
this map had an additional circle around
Sure.
those. It's fine, it's fine. Go ahead. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, I think I was done.
Well, I have a question. So with the proposed project being in your front and backyard, do you see that as a continuation of your rural lifestyle? Is that gonna, is your environment gonna be the same?
No, it's gonna be
Do you
totally
feel like it's
different.
gonna be?
Yeah, it's gonna
Do
be
you feel-
impacted, and they've even said,
publicly there?
this is going to impact you. But again, we don't own the property, so there's nothing.
So it's not like it doesn't feel like an agriculture. It's not like they're putting corn instead of beans in.
Correct.
It's not. So it's considerable. It's a high impact into your life.
And additionally, I believe there's also gonna be fences around. So the maintenance of going in our driveway, which is very long, is the maintenance of who's gonna keep up on the weed eating of that. And so just every day looking at that doesn't excite me, but there's nothing I can do.
Do you guys take care of the weeds around the fences?
Yes.
We do.
And is it weed eating or is it spray killer?
It could be
He is
a
the
combination of mechanical, which is weed eating, or manual, controls, chemical. You can use, mostly a combination of mechanical and chemical. It depends on what plants you're trying to treat, where they are, what kind of height you need to limit, those types of things.
And then how would you address that property without going onto our property?
No, typically the property.
I'm sorry?
You just go to the property line. The fence would be on the property line. Fence would be set back.
Okay.
You go to your property.
Okay.
Absolutely.
22 acres.
One of the things, Rebecca, we were thinking here too is some additional screening.
Not
Because I
bad.
know, I've always thought that this property, it's so tricky the way this parcel lays. And we have thought about this and how can we, for the Farrington family, how can we make this and increase it? And screening was the way that, thinking of you all, like, how can we make this? Also, as far as the fencing, we chose to do ag fencing. So that way it's not it's more aesthetically pleasing. I realize, I know, I feel for that. But those are some of the other ways we're trying to think of you all to make sure it's not so cumbersome for you all. But understood.
One other consideration as well is we have that landscape buffer, like that made sense. So we have that agricultural fence and then plantings of shrubs and trees beyond that. And then beyond that will be the property line there too. So
I can't even keep my shrubs and trees alive with watering, so I'm not quite sure how your shrubs and trees are going to grow on the dirt road with.
It'll be in the field.
The one, you see the black border, sort of a regular shaped black border, that's the landscape buffer.
Like I said, we'll be using native species in those things that are adapted to conditions here. So ideally, beyond years 2 and 3, once they're established, they're growing. And you don't need to water, fertilize, do any kind of, you just need to control. They're gonna be growing just fine with the control part of this.
And we have an establishment period with our contractor as well, where they're responsible to replace dead trees if they didn't get to that establishment period and stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So who else would like to ask questions or add thoughts to this? Don't everybody come up at once.
Also, just to be clear, tonight is just about the Roulette's project. It's not about, I know there's some maps gone around, there are other solar companies looking at the county, but tonight's meeting is only about the Roulette's solar project. And there is a map out front if you want to look at that. You can't focus on this real well. We're trying to do our best to show people where they're talking about. So
thank you.
Tonight's just
Thanks for highlighting that.
Florida lady.
I got a map.
You got to state your name.
Oh, Trina Drummond.
And where do you live?
I've already put it up there. On 1514 South Reed Street.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I pulled this map up off of your site. My house is approximately right there. Okay. This area that's here, you say is the affected area. Am I correct?
I wanna look at that because that is a big old swath, and I think that
That's the one off of your site.
and I think that's misleading. Because I agree, if you look at that, you're gonna go, what in the world? That's encompassing way more than this project is. So I agree with you. What I would love to do is show you the map officially where you are located, where the panels are. Because that is
Okay,
deceiving.
I've
agree.
seen that up here.
Okay.
1514
Okay, but my question is,
West
we're talking
1300
about
South.
the impact area.
Reed
Okay,
Street.
what are you going to be doing for
Reed
homeowners?
Street.
that are in
I'm
the
sorry, that's
impact
not-
area?
I gave the wrong
So are
address.
you in St. Bernice?
Yes.
Okay, so what we are doing is offering a fund directly for St. Bernice to cover things, whatever it is that you all need. And we try to ask, I've sat down.
Not what I need, I'm gonna get the hell out of here.
Do you want us to buy your house?
Yes. And I am not bullshitting either.
Well, I'm not bullshitting either.
I shoot from the hip only.
I'm here for it.
You make me get off on my house, I'll claim it right now.
All right, I'm in the right.
They need another
I
office.
might have to talk to my.
Construction office right there. Travis, what was the address again? 1514 what?
Drummond.
Reed Street.
Reed? Reed, that was my brother.
All right, listen up, guys.
Move in, you don't.
Oh, Rita Drummond.
It's not our problem.
So you got her contact
I would
information?
never
need to
invest
get
into something without knowing.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
That's a seller's problem, not ours.
This way will be easy if you got the most room. Okay.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna make a deal right now.
Who wants to turn?
I do.
Seller's problem.
Oh, yeah,
Not
you
our
gotta
problem,
wait,
it's the
she's right, have a
seller's.
seat.
This has been going on a lot longer. but-
Hello and good evening. My name's Kelly Cheesewright. I'm from West Bona. I'm a fifth generation farmer, both organic and conventional, using regenerative practices in both systems. And for the past 41 years on the conventional side. For those who aren't familiar with regenerative, it means processes to heal the soil back to its original condition prior to all the chemicals and high salt fertilizers. Our goal is to grow nutrient dense crops to provide better nutrition for plants, livestock, and humans. Diversity of crops and diversity within our cover crops is the avenue towards carbon capture and the increasing the organic matter and higher crop production. Diversity is also the key to our family farms. Farms longevity that was homesteaded in the 1860s. Having solar panels on a small percentage of the farm would provide a stable climate for future generations such as my son Keith, who's in the audience here today, and my 3 grandsons, and with another grandson on the way. Agriculture is a tough business with a lot of risk. Some of you well know. Weather challenges, burdensome carryover supplies worldwide of grain annually, continued expansion from South America production, all lead to constant low grain prices. Along with out of control input costs, very high property taxes, profitable margins are under a constant threat for all of us in row crop grain production. Having a few panels on our farm would allow us to establish a long-term perennial cover crop under these panels that would include pollinators that the bees and butterflies would love. At the end of the solar farm term, this land would have went through the ultimate healing process, as one stated, and ready for awesome crop production for future family generations. So for the family farmers involved in this solar project, who better to decide the use of their property than the ones who have poured blood, sweat, and tears for generations. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, where he is.
You can't start the clock until I
Oh,
tell
okay.
you.
I remember this time now.
I have been up here before with that.
It's all good. You ready?
Sure.
Talk loud.
All right, Neil Costello. I'm on the county council representing District 2, which is Helt Township. I grew up around the area, went to Ernie Pyle and Van Dyne both. Played baseball. My first team was for St. Bernice, so been around a little bit out there. But I'm going to read this statement. If I just stand here and talk, I'll get comfortable and won't want to leave. So I believe that this is a positive project, and the owner's been thorough and forthcoming with information, at least to me, and has done a good job to be a good neighbor. They've invested in the community for many years now and have stated they would continue to do so as part of the community. Carefully designed project, in my opinion, is being built by a power operator, not just a developer. They will remain engaged in the community as long as, hopefully, as long as our current power producer has, which is Duke Energy. When this plant is operating, when it's favorable weather and sunlight conditions, it produces 20% of the megawatts of the current coal-fired generating station, which that is substantial in today's age. And it doesn't have the same footprint as a wind farm, which would take many, many miles to produce that many megawatts. And it does this without having to mine coal or rail coal or put pipelines on the ground that some don't like. I don't view it as an eyesore, and I don't believe that they alter the skyline or the woodline views. And to prove this to myself, I went to the Sullivan County Solar Farm to take a look at that, because I'd never really seen one before, so I felt it was important for me to go see one in person. And I was kind of shocked when I saw it, how it actually isn't that visible from the road. And all you see really is the edge. You don't see the entire thing. Depends on your elevation, I suppose, but it doesn't appear to be some monstrosity or an eyesore. At least to me it didn't. This project represents economic development in the county, especially for those in Helt Township, St. Bernice. It provides a measurable revenue to the county, which will help fund our comparably small government in the upcoming times of revenue decreases, and those are on the way. Economic development is something the county should always seek. There have been few opportunities such as this for economic development, and losing this project will undoubtedly affect future economic interest in our county. Importantly, as it was stated a moment ago, the project doesn't alter the land or strip the soil, and when the project comes to completion, the land can be returned as was stated. I don't want to repeat that too much, but it's not that difficult to dismantle one of these. I suppose regular, typical construction equipment will do the job. Will there be more? I don't know. There appear to be, but unfortunately, I can't talk about that. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the BZA. RJ Donovan, President of the Vermillion County Commissioners, resident in Key, Indiana. I'm not in this footprint of this area, but I will start by saying, thank you for your service on serving on the BZA. I know you guys have spent a lot of time reviewing this, and that booklet, as you see, is full of a lot of information. So I want to thank you for all that. I won't use up all my time. I don't have a whole lot of things to say. I will say I appreciate Judy's recommendation earlier tonight about having statements from various boards. I think that is a very good thing to consider. I think you guys have a long night ahead of you, and I just want to come up here and say thank you for your service, and I greatly appreciate all the hard work you guys are doing. Thank you.
Thanks.
Brady Jones, 11542 South Polk Street, St. Bernice, Indiana. I was born Union Hospital in Clinton and raised in St. Bernice. I went to Ernie Pyle Elementary, graduated from South Vermillion in 2015, lived in St. Bernice most of my life, and I'm currently the associate pastor at St. Bernice First Church of the Nazarene. And in 2 days, I will be getting married in St. Bernice. So St. Bernice is a very important community to me and to my heart. And where I should be right now is helping prepare for my wedding in 2 days. But I'm here with the permission of my soon-to-be wife to speak on behalf of my community as a pastor and as a resident there of why I think Apex Energy should be there, and they're doing good things for the community. Apex Energy is going above and beyond to be good neighbors to St. Bernice. In the presentation, $200,000, if the project gets passed, they're going to give to St. Bernice to fund projects in St. Bernice and community development, with the additional $20,000 per year on top of that one-time $200,000. They've already given $15,000 to St. Bernice, because on July 3rd, 2026, St. Bernice will be having their fireworks show, which we haven't had in, I believe, 6 or 8 years. I'm not sure on the number of that. But Apex Energy has given the money for St. Bernice for us to have this community event that is very important to the people of St. Bernice and was very important to me growing up. And then if the project passes, they're going to continue to give money to that every year going forward, as long as they're going to be a part of this. To me, that shows that they care. They don't have to be doing all of that, but they are. And that shows that they care about this community. And that is why I am in support of them. And I also, once again, believe that the landowners have the right to do with their land. So I believe there's no reason to prevent this project from going forward. To do so would infringe on the rights of the landowners while actively hurting the advancement of the town and community of St. Bernice. Thank you.
What was your first name?
Brady.
Okay, I missed it. Sorry, thank you.
My name's Judy Wright, and I'm here on behalf of my husband. My daughter's here with us, and I have other children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And we moved to St. Bernice in '83 because Peabody Coal Company bought our place that was south of Blandford. So since 1983, we've lived there, and we have a small farm. And the farming business isn't what it's cracked up to be, especially if you're a small farmer. So I think the solar project will allow us to leave something to our children that'll be worthwhile for their security and their financial well-being in the community. I think this company's a very good company. They worked with us, and they are, I know they have a financial interest in it too, but I think they also want to make our area a nice area to live in. So I hope that you'll support this project just like I do and my family does. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Brock Fortner from 2018 West Milwaukee Street, Clinton, Indiana, which is basically St. Bernice. I am president of the St. Bernice Water Corporation. I'm thankful for the county and the support you guys have helped us with. I've met with Kent, I've met with Megan, I've met with Taylor. I was very skeptical at first too, started doing research, you know, what is this? You see solar panels everywhere. You go to the airport, like somebody mentioned, they went and viewed one, drove over to Indy to look at what that footprint looks like that you're facing in your community, and I don't think it would be a problem. I trust these guys wholeheartedly, looking into the research. I think it's good to see something happen in Vermillion County. Lived here my whole life, and I probably, not that it creates a lot of jobs post, but it creates a lot of revenue, that maybe this county could do something to help with the rise or get industry in here to create jobs. Most people have to work outside Vermillion County, you know, drive for employment. So I just think that they've got the county's interest, the residents at heart, and they have gone above and beyond more than what they would have to do as a business to show and prove that. So I'm very thankful for the generosity and the 6 years they've been working on this project and donating that I didn't know. I didn't go and ask. I saw Apex sign there up at Clinton. I didn't know what it was. So I just want to say I hope you guys do support this project. I'd like to see something happen in Vermillion County.
Thank you.
My name is Tom Cundiff. I live in St. Bernice, 11755 South Highway 71. Went to school here just like everybody else has explained. I'm an emeritus military historian for the Ernie Powell Museum. I have a very different view of this. 80% of the heavy metals, rare materials used in the production of these solar panels comes from Red China. Now, I remember it called that because I'm older. But we've changed their name, but they haven't changed. These materials that they talk about coming from Canada and built in some place down there, Jeffersonville, and in Texas. They're assembling them there, but the raw materials come from Red China. This is a problem because just recently there has been an embargo from Red China. They won't sell these rare materials to us. So the panels that we're making and putting up here represent a drain on what can be used for military purposes. That concerns me, especially now that they have become not just a competitor, but an enemy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Shirley Downs. I'm North Danway. I only had a quick question. I heard it being referred to as a solar farm. So my question is, just for curiosity for me, when the people get the income from the farm, is it going to be agricultural income, or is it going to be looking at a different aspect? Will the people that own it, is it actually going to be considered actual farm income, or is it going to have to be coming from a different base name? That question was asked me, so that's the only reason I'm asking.
Just ordinary income.
Just ordinary income? Just ordinary, okay. So it would be taxed differently than it would be from agriculture or anything like that. Okay, and I did, Miss Judy, I do appreciate your questions, because the comment was said that by the time you get all your information from the commissioners, and I know that I haven't been able to be at the meetings, but that the information would be stale. It's not a matter of information being stale, because information is still going to be there. And meeting with the different people and trying to learn, I think that is doing the people of Vermillion County the best job that you can do. And you guys have done that all the time. I mean, you've always taken the time to do that. And I appreciate it for so many different times. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shirley. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your time. My name is Grant Bradley. I'm a sole trustee for my mom's interest, or mom's half, late mother. She deceased several years ago. My dad is also a co-trustee with his interest in ownership of land that's in the solar farm. I'm here to represent support for the Brilletts Creek Solar Farm. Really, for more of the statements that have kind of been made, generational transfer of our land over 3 generations coming down to myself in the future. This protects our interests of our land. It provides for my own financial benefit as we look ahead, but also provision to my children, grandchildren, a real benefit that my mom, my dad would be very proud to see us retain interest and retain ownership of the land that we are inheriting. I would ask you to kind of think about, as you drive around to different places and see agricultural developments. So the other day I drove from Indianapolis to Lafayette to see my son at Purdue. Between Whitestown and Lebanon, that area is just booming with development all across I-65. Farmland is for sale everywhere. they're getting $50,000 to $60,000 plus per acre for farmland. You know, out of the interest of fair market value. Okay, they're getting what they deserve as a farm owner. If it's fair market value and their businesses that are willing to pay and there's gains from that, that's their interest. That's their privilege to be in a very developing area. Vermillion County doesn't have a lot of economic development. I think that really it's a position here where as economic development comes, it only opens doors to further views of Vermillion County. How can this lead to something next in the future? I heard you talk about, you know, economic areas where you're trying to develop. You know, this provides tax benefits, this develops the community, this helps build better schools, helps build better roads, helps invest into Vermillion County, where it may expose opportunities for further development of those economical growth places. So, second thing I'd point you to is to John Ford and Suzanne Jaworowski. Can't pronounce that name very well, but she's, you know, they're both in the secretary and executive director roles for energy development. Their focus is they're on a mission. They're driving growth for Indiana to generate more power. Okay, generation of power in this state is, we're an importer of energy. Okay, we're not an exporter. And data centers and all these developments, they're taking more and more energy. This solar project is going to help us by generating more power, supporting the community, and there's a lot of tax benefits and other benefits from it. So I really support Roots Creek. I think they're doing a great job. They're investing. How many of those big distribution centers, if you add up everything they're doing for the community, I bet this is more. These people are investing back into the community. I'm part of big business, been around big business. They don't invest back into the community near as much as what I see here. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll make this quick. My name is Scott McCoskey. I work with White Construction as a construction manager. I spoke earlier about the Randolph County solar farm, and I'm a construction manager on that project as well. So I have a little bit of interaction with different people, and I just want to say that these people are very, very transparent when it comes to including me on things. They seem genuine, and also if you have any questions about what to expect when these are being built, I can offer that information to you.
How do you spell your last name?
MCCOSKEY. Also, I live in Terre Haute, south side of Terre Haute.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John Moore, 457 Mulberry Street, Cleveland, Indiana, Vermillion County resident. I was on the Area Plan Commission when the UDO was conceived. I was on the steering committee while it was being written. I was on APC when the solar ordinance was written. How many companies do you know that are standing at the border waiting to invest $465 million with us? Not one of them that I know of, but we got one here that's trying to play by the rules. They're trying to put us in a good economic position so that this Senate Bill 1 is going to disproportionately kill some of the smaller areas. Won't hurt quite as bad. They're here tonight to ask for two things. One is a special exception and one is a variance, both of which, when we wrote the UDO, were allowed in the areas for where they're asking for the exception and the variance. I think if you shut the door on this right now, you may as well throw that UDO out and have them rewrite another one, spend another 13 months But in my opinion, this is just the beginning anyway. They can't do a thing until you prove this, or approve it, but once you approve it, then that opens the door for them to proceed, and they can start all these discussions that everybody's worried about. Start talking with the commissioners, with the council, start worrying about a decommissioning plan. But this has to be approved before they can make the next step. The UDO allows for it. I say you need to pass it. It will help us all. I thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Penny, do I need to give you my address? I failed to do that when I spoke.
I think I have that, but.
Okay.
I got a map I can look you up on, Neil.
Penny, I've got a statement, but they give that to you.
Sure.
And I want just hit the highlights. I'm Bill Reynolds, 481 East 7th Street. It's in Fairview Park, but it's Clinton 47842 address. The complaints I think a lot of people have, concerns pertain to taking agricultural land out of service. And the other one is they don't want to look at solar panels. But I want to say that I support this project on economic grounds. And I'm going to hit some highlights here very briefly. Doing some back of the envelope calculations on some numbers of direct support in the form of property taxes, economic development payments, and payments to landowners. I came up with $146 million. That's over 30 years. That breaks down to about $4.8 million per year, and that's pretty significant. I've seen the challenges that the councils had to go through in making tough decisions, and they will continue to do in view of things that are changing on the property tax side of things, and it's a great benefit to the county economically. Kelly talked about farming's pretty tough right now. I'm not going to get into a lot of that, but he explained the situation there. $1,000 to $1,500 an acre beats what you're going to make planting corn or anything else. And the way he expressed it, I think, was very good. It's a diversification. It doesn't have to put it all in, but it's able to put something in so he can help offset some of these other risks. Drainage was one of the things. I attended the last drainage board meeting as an observer. Ron did a very good job of explaining that. Opinion, I think, explained very well, and I think all the members of the drainage board felt very confident that drainage will be a big part of their project and be well taken care of. White Construction selected as a contractor, and anything that goes to them with local employees, local contractor, that is not included, I don't think, in that 146 million. So you take a look at the big number of investment, that's where that comes in. So glad to see a local contractor involved in that. Getting down to here now, if this project is approved, it will send a message that this county is receptive to new business development, which may then attract additional investment interest. The alternative is, if this project is not allowed to go forth and waste the time and money that's already been invested, it will likely discourage anyone from coming in and taking a risk on investing in Vermillion County. And boy, I sure don't want to see that happen. Very last item on here, I am a member of the Vermillion County Chamber of Commerce, and we had a meeting last Tuesday and did a vote, and they have authorized me to say that the Vermillion County Chamber of Commerce does support this program. I don't think we all agree on the necessities, etc., but on an economic basis, we do agree that we support this program. I ask you to vote to approve the Brillet Creek Solar Project. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Bill, that was good.
We got another one
Somebody
coming up.
I'm here now as a Vermillion County resident, Bill Peebles, 475 North Maple. I've lived here my entire life, and Bill brought up a good point that you can't take productive farm ground and do these things with it, but we do it all the time. We've taken ground out of the river bottoms and turned it back to nature. We've put butterfly fields in everywhere, so we can use productive farm ground for other things. It's changed so much in my 55 years just driving up 71. All of the fence posts that are out there used to have fences on them. When I was a little kid, those were all pastures. They weren't fields. Everybody raised cattle up there. So it's changed. This is just another change we're gonna go through. Thank you.
Thank you.
Les Zimmerman, 955 East, 1000 South, Clinton. This is in Help Township. I'm in favor of this project. I urge you to support it. My hat is off to these folks here for their diligence, for their patience, for their persistence. Thank you so much, and also thank you for your support for Vermillion Trails Alliance, for the grants, for your support for our annual race. These are great people here. And yeah, they got a profit in mind, but we've got an opportunity here to cash in on that. I want to make a point about this whole concept of taking good farmland out of production, put in solar. The fact is, in Indiana, we plant over 40% of our corn crop goes to ethanol. The fact is, 1 acre of solar panels will produce as much energy in a year as 30 acres of corn for ethanol. Furthermore, and you can double check those facts, furthermore, to build on what Kelly Cheesewright said, that land will be not in production. We will not be leaking nitrogen and phosphates and sediment into our waterways. To me, that solar panel is the highest and the best use of our farmland. Corn harvests solar energy and creates a product. Solar panels harvest solar energy. To me, it's not industrial. It's farming. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I urge you to support this.
Thank you.
It is getting late. We need a motion.
We're not even close yet.
Rick Weir, 757 West State Road, 234, Cayuga, Indiana. I'm a former utility worker. Worked for I worked for Public Service Indiana, Synergy, and Duke Energy for 40 plus years. I was part of the purchasing supply chain. I ordered bulk chemicals, bulk fuel, bulk everything. Talked about chemicals earlier. Also involved with Marble Hill. I was involved with very little solar, but some, as far as the supply chain. And I guess what I'm going to say is, and I'm very proud to be an electric utility employee, but I have seen and they have exhibited professionalism, great character, integrity, and honesty, from what I can tell. I've heard the same things from them, and I trust them because of their professionalism. I asked them about their environmental charter. I basically, every day lived with the environmental part of it with Duke Energy. And I hope that you guys honor what you say. I'm sure that you will. But I do support this project, both from a former school board member, looking at trying to continue to keep the schools as well maintained and functioning. With Senate Bill 1, next 3 years this county and the school corporations are going to suffer. This economic development package will be a huge benefit for us to try to survive for the next 3 years. South Vermillion and North Vermillion schools, and as far as this county. As far as being on the county council, which I've been on basically 2 terms. I also served on the Vermillion County School Board for 2.5 terms. So we've been trying to, I know at North Vermillion, trying to survive for years. So this is an opportunity for us to continue to move forward and make this county great again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Jared Southard, 2853 West St. Paul Street.
Say that again, sorry.
2853 West St. Paul Street. I'm just Wanted to ask what provisions are in place to protect future expansions from engulfing the entire community? If you open the window, what stops it?
Can I answer that? I did, you're talking about solar manufacturing, solar farm. Solar farm. That's what the UDO is put out, and then you should always go back and look and learn as things happen with the ordinances. And one I just proposed tonight is we should maintain the agriculture portion of it, because you don't want to consume that the area, but at the same time you can limit those, and that's what I've been doing research of other counties, is that they're in support, but they don't want to give up all their farming.
Okay. Thank you.
So that's something the APC could recommend.
Every other project that would come into the county would have to come in front of our board, and there's a finding of facts that we need to do. Apex gave us this document to prove their point. As far as we're concerned, with any other solar farm that comes in, this is minimal standards.
Well,
So
I was just concerned, nobody was, nobody wants to live in an ocean of panels.
That doesn't mean that there won't be additional solar farm projects in the county. But we now have a minimum standard to go by.
That's good.
I can assure you there's no phase 2 to this project. I can assure you. I understand, I don't either.
I think that, oh, there's one more.
Couple more.
Two more.
Okay,
Lee James, 17611 South 250 East.
Oh, Lee James?
Yep, Lee James.
Are you related to Ashley?
That's my wife. I'm a lucky man, aren't I?
You sure are.
Yeah. And it's on record, right?
Not my-
Nobody heard it. Right, Travis?
We know that.
You're not related by blood.
Happy wife, happy life.
Commander-in-Chief, you mean?
What's that?
Your commander-in-chief, you mean?
Yeah, sure, when she's not home. I don't know, can I start now?
Yep, your 3 minutes are going.
All right, obviously a Vermillion County resident, grew up out in St. Bernice area, landowner there through a process, but as far as, I want to make sure, I'd be remiss not to come up here and say that, like, I was skeptical too at first. I didn't really give him any time of day, and 2.5, 3 years of hard scrutiny through Apex, I can tell you I fully, wholly support Apex and this Brulettes Creek Solar Project for our county. Not just me as a landowner in it. It is through my conviction, through scrutinizing them. I can promise you, I'm not a stupid individual. Spent a lot of time doing research. For our county, this is huge. I've worked here, luckily, my whole life. Been able to stay here. And unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot of opportunities that come up here. And to miss out on something like this for our county and the residents, this doesn't just affect a small portion. This can affect and help everybody. Yeah, there's going to be some negatives. Okay, there are going to be negatives, but I don't know anything good that has happened that didn't have some negative effect on somebody. There's always some way to find something negative. Negative's easy. But as far as the positives in this project, way outweigh for our county and the residents the negatives of it. So I just want to make sure I voice my opinion here as far as the opportunity here that we have as a county to not miss out on the opportunity and then maybe strike out other opportunities that we might not get because of this. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lee.
Yep, thank you.
Tom Bookwalter, Perrysville, Indiana. I just have a question as to how many federal and state tax dollars are going towards this. I guess my question would be, are there federal and state tax dollars going towards it?
May I answer?
Yes.
Please. I love this question because we have a really good answer. So you saw that we've spent
about $15 million to date on this project. Most of that is in deposits to MISO and Duke Energy for interconnection. We probably spent 6 or 7 million of our own. It's all ours money. The 15 million is private capital, 100% private capital at risk. If this project goes sideways and we walk away, that 15 million is out the door. That's the game we play. We don't receive a penny from a federal, state, or local agency for the development of these projects. It's all private investment. Any developer is the same way. Can't be said about the other company that's operating in this county that just got a $1.3 billion loan from DOE. We don't get that. No low interest, no 0% loans, no grants, no nothing, no cash. The only thing we would receive is when the project is operating, when we are actually putting megawatts onto the grid, hopefully in 2028, we would receive a federal tax credit for each megawatt hour we put on the grid for 10 years. So this project would qualify for federal tax credits. It's not tax money. You could say, well, you're getting a tax credit, that's money. It's not using your money or my money, tax money, to fund the project. Zero. So the answer ultimately is zero. Now, those tax credits are fading. President Trump has signed the bill that would basically sunset those in 2029. And so, without going into great detail, we are perfectly prepared for future projects to not benefit from those tax credits, and the market will adjust accordingly.
Thank you.
Hold on, Ken. Can I expand on that?
Sure.
Ken, if you could just expand on that. When this starts generating electricity, will it offer the opportunity for Duke Energy to lower the rates for the existing ratepayers here in this county?
No. I can answer that from Duke Energy in my 40 years of experience.
Ask.
It's
going towards Rick's retirement.
Is any money going? No.
It's a tough question. Currently, solar is by far the cheapest and fastest way to get new generation on the grid. So, when we gave a presentation to both commissioners and council some time ago, we showed IRP graphs. So that IRP is the integrated resource plan for Duke. We showed it for the former Pentex. The changes are remarkable from coal, basically from coal to a mix of natural gas, wind, solar, nuclear. 5 or 10 years from now, it's going to look very different. If we wanted to develop a natural gas plant in this county, we'd be probably 10 years out. You can't get a turbine for 6 years right now because of supply chain issues. And don't take my word for it, ask someone to do. Solar is keeping power costs down because it is simply so cheap. That's the easiest answer I can give you. It is by far the cheap. In the generation stack, they're going to go to solar first. So when MISO's dispatching, they're going to go solar first because it's inevitably going to beat wind, gas, coal, nuclear. To maintain.
And you have a power purchase agreement in place already for this with Duke? Or?
We have a power purchase agreement in place with IPA, the Illinois Power Agency. So the IPA basically is a wholesale buyer of power for Illinois utilities. And so we're selling this power to IPA, which will then distribute it to Ameren, ComEd, etc.
Okay. So you've sold all the production from this facility?
We actually haven't. It's a 200 megawatt facility. We've sold 167. So we've got 33 megawatts left that we're marketing now.
Okay. That's it.
Back on this marketing of power. Power is purchased all the time, to and from. Duke Energy might buy it from, I'll say Illinois. It depends upon where it's the free market. So wherever the money, the utility, the kilowatt hours and megawatt hours are the cheapest is where it goes. Sometimes Duke has to pay to get the money on the grid to us here in Indiana. So it is a huge, complicated process that we here tonight probably can't get through and understand. But it's all interconnected, and through these interconnections, power is bought and sold. So they may sell it to Illinois, but in turn, it may come back to Indiana. So don't get hung up on Indiana, Illinois, because it's a grid out there, and we might be buying it from Texas or something like that. I doubt it, but
Yeah, that wasn't the question, Rick.
Yeah.
The question was, can this lower the rates for the ratepayers here in Vermillion County?
it could, but more than likely not. Because it goes through the rate base, and you pay from the rate base from the IU.
Yeah, I understand. You don't know what you're gonna.
My name's Ross Herlow. I live on 252 Jackson Street. I just finished 8 years at White Construction. I'm actually on my 12th project as a construction manager, just like Scott. So I built these things. I spend more time around them than possibly anybody in this room. And I drove 3 hours to be here tonight, mainly because the impact of not taking an opportunity like this is extreme. What I've noticed is that these projects, developers sometimes chase other developers. Like they just mentioned 33 megawatts, that's up for grabs. Another opportunity could pop up for a business, and that comes to our community. And then Vermillion Rise as well, if they develop that, that's another power purchase agreement that's available in place for us. I come back here about 1 month a year now because I'm on the road so often. This will be an opportunity for me to get off the road. And based on what I've seen, the only risk here is just not taking this opportunity. That's just what I want to say.
Thank you.
What was your last name?
Herlow.
Herlow, got it.
We got handouts.
I'm back. That's okay. Gotta talk loud, Ash.
All right, Ashley James, 17611 South, 250 East. Speaking on behalf of the financial aspects, as a county council member and a landowner near St. Bernice, I strongly support Apex's Brulettes Creek Solar Project near St. Bernice. SB 1, which you've heard about tonight, is recent legislation passed at the Indiana state level and is going to reduce the revenue Vermillion County receives each year. In our best case scenario, if we are willing to raise taxes to the maximum limit, we will still lose at least $239,000 in revenue in 2026 and $211,000 in 2027. Those are best case scenarios, which we do not want to raise taxes. Property tax and income tax revenue fund almost all county services and departments, including the Sheriff's Department, Parks, 4-H, the Fair, Soil and Water Services, the Health Department, the Ambulance Service, the Judicial System, Emergency Management, along with several others, and all the offices located in the courthouse. Although money is not everything, it is what allows our county to operate and have the services we currently provide to our citizens. The Apex Brulettes project will bring much needed revenue to our county. The increase in assessed value of the land and use will allow for tax rates to be lowered for the county, the affected townships, and the school district. Without getting into a lengthy time discussion of how property tax is collected, it's not really possible in 3 minutes, how it's collected and paid, the Cliff Note version is if businesses pay more and have a greater share of the assessed value in the county, the individual residents of the county will pay less of the tax levy. The proposed economic development agreement Apex is willing to negotiate with the county would also bring in millions of new revenue to help offset the reductions we expect from the state's new bill. That new revenue helps every citizen in our county. The income tax the county collects from the almost $119 million in payments to residents will also help fund services for our county and our residents. $119 million in payments to residents is equal to more than 65 new jobs, making an average of $60,000 a year. If a new factory brought over 60 new jobs to our county, we would be ecstatic. Apex has already shown that they will be an asset to our communities through their grant program. Small organizations, clubs, educational programs are always in need of support, and Apex has been generous throughout the past many years. Our small communities need good business partners. Not only will Apex help the county financially, it will provide opportunities to our residents of our county to use their land to provide financial stability and income for their families for generations to come. As quoted from John Myers, an economic development advisor, if this project goes through, Vermillion County will essentially avoid the negative consequences of SB 1, and tax rates will actually drop for all taxpayers in the county. I have a copy for your analysis. That's what I handed out. As the saying goes, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. This is our shot to bring in a good community partner to Vermillion County. It has been years since Vermillion County has had a new business invest in our county and our citizens to this magnitude. Give Apex a chance to be part of our community, to be a taxpayer, a valued asset, and a meaningful source of income to the county and our residents. Please vote to allow Apex to proceed with their solar project. You have the ability to allow this project to proceed to the next step. Tonight would not be the end of discussions and negotiations if approved, but it is a crucial beginning to a project that could positively affect generations of our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. I know the taxation doesn't really fall under our purview, but I wonder if Mr. Balsano would like to elaborate, since I actually brought it up.
Hello, my name is Greg Balsano. I work with Baker Tilly Municipal Advisors. We're a financial advisor to counties, cities, towns, schools, libraries across the state of Indiana. Yeah, speaking on the property taxes, I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have. But the summary that was just provided is a good one in terms of how taxes work in the state of Indiana. A lot of funds are set. The state limits how much these funds can grow each year, how much counties can collect. And so increases in assessed value, what that does, holding all else constant, drives down tax rates. And so think of it as a pie. Everyone in the county pays a portion of the tax bills, right? The tax rate. If a new company comes in and pays higher taxes, pays more taxes, that means everyone else pays less, holding everything else constant. The economic development payments do represent new dollars. So that, unlike necessarily property taxes, those economic development payments represent new dollars that, generally speaking, we've heard can be used for any legal purpose that the county may use them for. So again, my name is Greg Balsano with Baker Tilly. Happy to answer any kind of tax related questions here in the state of Indiana.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi. Misty Hess, Vermillion County Commissioner, and I'm just going to make a real quick statement. So first, I want to thank everyone, APC, BZA, Apex, everyone from the community for being here, because this is really important for our community. And in saying that, I'd like to say that as I began researching what the solar development is like and how I can make my best decisions for the county as serving on the county commissioners board. I researched solar development and its potential impact on Vermillion County. I reached out to regional commissioners to learn from their experiences. I spoke with the Sullivan County Commissioner regarding their EDA plan, decommissioning requirements, and road use planning. They shared valuable lessons from their first solar project and emphasize the importance of considering both participating and non-participating landowners when shaping our approach. They also recommended that we hire an independent firm with expertise in EDA review, decommissioning, and road use planning to ensure long-term protections and sound planning for all parties. I've communicated these expectations to my fellow commissioners and Apex so they clearly understand our priorities moving forward. I believe Apex's investment will have a meaningful financial impact on Vermillion County and support future economic development for our community. So again, thank you to everyone for your time, your input, and your continued commitment to Vermillion County.
Thank you. Okay, I think it's about time to close the public hearing.
Last call.
Anybody? Yeah, last call.
Last call. Comments.
Anybody else? I know I told you don't all come up at once, but if you still have anything you want to say, it's time.
Got one more comment.
Yeah, now's the time.
Yeah.
Garrett Lee, 11754, State Road 71, St. Bernice. I'm the pastor of the St. Bernice Church of the Nazarene. I won't repeat what my associate already said, except just to elaborate on that just a little bit. That the fireworks display that is mentioned, I'm now also serving as the president of St. Bernice Fireworks Committee that was just formed as a result of the grant already given. I needed to serve on another committee, so thank you. But when we were talking with Apex about opportunities and grants, we suggested they were asking us what kind of things does St. Bernice need, and that's more than just a fireworks display. Part of your priorities that you have listed are maintaining the flavor of the community and the county. Grants like that are actually bringing that back to us, because it's a full day event that brings our community together, and we have not had that for a number of years, and so we don't really have an event. We're not used to people investing in St. Bernice. That doesn't happen very often, despite we get a few grants here and there. But this is bringing us in closer together, and when we were talking about that, we thought, well, it won't happen this year because that takes time, and this whole project hasn't been approved. But it was their idea. They said, well, you're going to need time to plan that, so we'll give you the money even though we don't know that this is going to be approved. So we've already got things underway. We have a committee, we have a date, we've signed the contract on the fireworks, we've got getting vendors lined up, and so it's on the road. It's going to happen, and that means a lot to our community. What it speaks of to me is that Apex is not just doing the minimum of what they need to help our community. They're actually going above and beyond, and they're reaching out, how can we help you? And that helps all of us. So I don't speak as a landowner. There won't be solar panels outside my window. I live right in town, so I can't speak on behalf of those that will be more directly impacted. But for our community of St. Bernice, I've been a resident there 20 years now as pastor, and I also do substitute teaching in South Vermillion Middle School and High School. So I'm very much plugged into the community, and I believe that Apex is really doing well as a good neighbor to help us and move us forward. And I don't state that lightly. I was another one that came in skeptical about, you hear about renewable energy, and my concerns have been allayed. I was especially concerned about the value of the land, and to hear how the landowners are taking seriously the condition of their land means a lot to me. And so with that put aside, I feel good about this project, so I speak in support of the project itself and granting the exception and the variance so that this can move forward, trusting that other government agencies will do their due diligence to make sure that they seek out any concerns that still remain. Thank you.
What was your name again, sir?
Garrett Lee.
Garrett.
Thank you. Alrighty. Do I?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
All in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
Aye. Public hearing is closed.
Do you have any other questions you want to ask before I? No?
I'd like to entertain a motion that we postpone the discussion of the finding of facts for special exception of the variance till next meeting in December, that we need some time to digest all the information that we have heard, and that we adjourn our meeting as of now.
And I'm of the same spirit. I appreciate everyone coming here and speaking and informing on the project, but it is a lot. And I also kind of get, how there's kind of like a fear-based, say, make this decision now, don't let this opportunity. I think we can wait a month till the next meeting and then go over the finding of facts. Give us time. It's been a lot for us to go over up here. So it's amongst us to decide.
So are you seconding her
I
motion?
I'm seconding the motion.
Discussion.
You want to discuss further?
Yeah, I just one little thing. I think I'd appreciate if Ms. Farrington and yourself would get together. And, I mean, it's a large project. Surely there's opportunity for improvement. And the other lady that spoke up tonight, Ms. Drum. That's between you and them, but yeah, I'm in agreement.
So, all in favor of postponing the findings of fact until our next meeting in December, say aye.
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 And do we need more discussion on?
Any nays?
So any further
I was a
discussion?
no.
He's a no.
I was a no.
You were a no, were you a no? You wanted to?
Yes, I was a no.
Were you a no?
No, I was.
You made the motion.
Yeah, I made the motion.
So any more discussion this evening on us?
I need to go back a minute. So, yeah, I wasn't prepared. Judy made the motion, Travis has seconded the motion. The vote was taken, it was yeas and John was a no.
Correct.
Postpone until
December.
Table till December.
Table.
And then, like, can we get contacts for everyone that's to you, and then if we have further questions.
Sure,
That way we
absolutely.
can
Any
link through
questions,
Penny to,
yes.
I think
to all of you.
we submit our questions to Penny and let her take.
And my understanding is that at the meeting in December, we would not open again to public comment unless we, as a board, had questions that we haven't gotten to you, but we would not open as public comment, that we would go right to finding of facts? Is that what we're assuming?
We've had a lot of input,
Mr.
yeah,
Seaver.
unless we have more questions.
I mean, the public can still come, but it's not gonna be a public hearing.
Yeah, so that was part of my question, and that is, we've brought a team from
We
all over the
understand that.
country. All over the country.
Yeah.
We understand that.
Do you want us to bring them back?
I would think you guys could get those questions to me, and I can get them out to Megan or Nikki, either one, to get those, so they wouldn't have to be here. We'd like someone from Apex here, but it could be you if they're gonna be traveling.
The other question is, are you intending to schedule this as a special meeting or on your regular
scheduled
meeting? And will it be in conjunction with other business?
This is the only business we have at the moment, correct?
Right, but
So we don't know.
But we don't know until 21 days before the meeting if anything else is gonna be up.
But they would be up first.
Yes, they would be up
And
first.
we would go right to finding of facts.
Well,
And-
you'd be behind APC.
Right.
APC would have their meeting, they would close it and open the BZA meeting.
And just so we're clear, did I hear you say that your December meeting date was different than normal, or?
No, that was county commissioners.
Okay, so it is December 11th?
Yes, correct.
Well, can I just ask, just so that I understand what you guys want when we come back in December? I think the original understanding we had was that after public comment, we were supposed to give a brief rebuttal, which we're prepared to do tonight, but we can also do that on December 13th or December 11th, whatever, if that's your preference. And then either way, is my understanding, if you have questions where you want, our property values expert present, you'll let us know in advance. And then otherwise, we'll have a core team here, but we'll probably not have the full group that's assembled tonight.
Do we want to get the rebuttal now?
If
If
you're prepared to do the rebuttal now and you have people that may not be here next time.
What is there to rebut?
Yeah,
I mean, the majority of the commentary was positive.
We may have more questions. I mean, you've provided binder tonight that we haven't seen before.
Happy
so-
to wait until December, if that's your preference.
I mean, it's, in my opinion, personal opinion, it's your choice what team you bring.
Okay,
sure.
Understood.
So.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
No.
Just from the county.
Public comments over.
But from a county council perspective,
No, I think no.
the facts part, they presented the facts.
but you have questions specifically on the facts, not, you could have, I mean, you heard from county commissioners and county council. You have any questions for us, you'll direct them to us?
Yes.
We'll direct them to Penny, who will direct them to you.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think we're done for tonight then, if I can get a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
I would second that motion.
Motion.
Aye.
Join them. Up there. That's it. Keep going. It's okay.
Yeah, I saw that. Hey, I don't think they can beat Illinois right now. Did you watch Illinois the other night?
I didn't. I was traveling for work then too, but I got selected to win.
There's an Illinois guy.
Is he?
Yeah, I'm trying to convert him.
My wife went to school.
Did she?
One more trip. Well, if that's the case, I don't need to take these home. Oh, there you are. Then you can't carry your load.
In the paragraph where you talk about drainage, the term regulated / public drain wasn't included. In Indiana, that's a big deal. It's getting bigger all the time. So you probably want to put that in that paragraph as a description of the thing. And the other thing is,
Some in the back.
talking about transmission. Said down to 5 feet, but on the decommissioning, it's 3 feet. And I don't care where it's 3 feet, 3 feet, 5 feet, but I'm one of the guys that said, you put it in the ground.
It finally warmed up.
Take it back in.
Yeah.